Detroit Red Wing Hockey is brought to you by AMC, your Metro Detroit AMC dealer, featuring the American Eagle. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Peschke and the all-new Peschke Great American Premium line of products. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it. And by Bank of the Commonwealth, trying hardest to help.
Tonight, from the Springfield Civic Center, the Detroit Red Wing Hockey Club brings you the game between the Hartford Whalers and the Detroit Red Wings. And for our first look at the Hartford Whalers in almost the mid-part of this 1979-80 season, Sid Abel, we will be once again taking a look at an old line mate of yours.
Well, this has got a little bit of a Detroit flavor with the kids, but Gordie Howe, my old buddy, playing on the right side. It's hard to believe. 51 will be 52 in a matter of a month or two, but is still scoring goals. Has 11 goals, 11 assists for 22 points in 36 games, so he still knows where the net is.
And Gordie Howe, despite the fact that he has a very heavy cold, is even having trouble talking, is out there in the lineup, ready to go in this hockey game, along with his son, Mark Howe. Mark, I was just checking it out today, has 12 goals and 18 assists on the season thus far. The leading scorer of the Hartford Whalers right now is a young man named Davy Keon, who's been around a while.
Well, Davy Keon is a 39-year-old hockey player that will soon be 40, so shows that the old-timers can still do things right. Davy's a good hockey player. He's very tricky. He's a fellow that doesn't like the rough going, but you have to check him because he can step through little openings and little holes and will put the puck in the net. Was a big star with Toronto for many years.
Oh, yeah. Well, from the old to the new, the Red Wings' newest, their #1 draft choice is Mike Foligno. Mike has come along and played very, very well the last several games.
Bruce, this kid is getting better every hockey game that's played. He is rough, he can skate, he can put the puck in the net. He has scored 11 goals, he has 18 assists, and just seems that every game he's getting better, and the fact that he's their #1 draft pick, he's a boy that's going to be in the Red Wing uniform for many, many years, and I think a real star in the National Hockey League.
Sid, to talk a little more about the Red Wings and the Hartford Whalers, it is a big game for both of these two teams because right at the moment, and I grant you we're not yet to the halfway point of the season, but Hartford is trailing Detroit by just 3 points and has a game in hand in what really at this moment amounts to the last playoff spot. So these are all big games for Detroit.
Well, Detroit, of course, winning the big game in Atlanta, they have to carry this through. They have to win some road games and then start taking care of games at home, and I think they can make it. The Hartford has got a long way to go, but they're moving back in their new building in a matter of a week or so, so it's going to be interesting to see just how they play.
Yes, this indeed will be the final game played by the Hartford Whalers here at the Springfield Civic Center. We'll be back with the opening face-off in just a moment.
Bozak and Paul Flaherty. And Thomas Woodman from the Hartford College of Music will sing America the Beautiful for the Americans being held hostage in Iran.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Took our monitor up. And so prior to the start of the game, the singing of America the Beautiful. The Detroit Red Wings will start the game, as you saw, with Rogie Vachon in goal. We'll be taking a look at John Garrett in the net for the Hartford Whalers. Referee for the hockey game is Dennis Morrell. And the two linesmen, Ron Bozak and Paul Flaherty. Peter Mahavlich will start the hockey game for the Wings with Nedemansky on the right wing, and on the left side, Danny LeBratton, Willie Huber, and Jim Korn back along the defense. Number 15 is Dave DeBoll, who we can talk a little more about, a young fellow out of the Detroit area, played at the University of Michigan. And he wears number 15 for Hartford. That's Willie Huber clearing the play back into the Detroit zone, and rather the Hartford zone, and another Detroiter, Gordy Roberts, clears it out on the left side. Mark Hall. His pass deflected off to the left side of Rogie Vachon. Vachon clears it now to Jim Korn. We're in the early moments of the game. Here's a long pass to Nedemansky. Big Ned with Roberts back. That's Nedemansky trying to work around him. Laid it in behind the Hartford goal. Larry Giroux cleared it out on the right side. Allison failed to work it beyond LeBratton. It came to the line, sent back in, and now here's a long pass on the left side to Howe. And it's Willie Huber to break that up. Danny LeBratton. LeBratton swings into the Hartford zone. His pass intercepted. Coming back with it now is Ray Allison from center ice. A long shot that Vachon clears away. Roberts held it in, and boy, Mark Hall was wide open out in front of the goal, but the pass didn't get through to him. Down on top of the puck is the Hartford player. It'll come out over the Detroit blue line.
It's hard to believe, Bruce. Three really boys from Detroit playing here tonight.
All three in that line.
Right, all in one line. DeBall, Mark Howe, and Gordy Roberts. And this is really the first opportunity that I've had to watch Gordy Roberts at all, knowing his dad and his Sandy and his brothers and whatnot. It's kind of a thrill to watch kids that played with the Detroit Red Wings play here.
Paul Wood scoops the puck into the Hartford zone. Garrett came out of the goal to play it away from him. It bounced out in front. Danny Bolduc is out on the left wing on the line, but here now is Rogers bringing it back into the Detroit zone. His shot kicked away by Vachon. Going in behind the Detroit goal, Brian Hill. They bounce in along the boards, and Paul Woods clears it ahead now to Bolduc. Errol Thompson not playing tonight. He is suffering the flu. Dennis Polonich went in ahead of Bolduc to play offside. We'll come out over the Hartford line for the face-off. We've played a minute and a half of the first period.
Danny Bolduc taking the place of Errol Thompson. As Bruce mentioned, Errol with the flu. And Errol's been hot lately. He's one of the Detroit leading scorers. He's played very, very well, and the Wings are going to miss him here in a road game.
From center ice, Barry Long fires a long shot, steered away. Dennis Polonich holds it in. Back pass knocked down by Paul Woods. He couldn't work away from Rogers. And Brian Hill golfs it out to center ice. That bounced right off the stick of Barry Long. And the Wings go into their own zone to retrieve it. Now Reed Larson ahead to Woods. Paul Woods drops it back, and here's Larson moving out to center ice. Now Larson winding up, fired the long shot, and Garrett deflects that high up into the crowd behind the Hartford goal.
And this is one thing that I like to see the Wings do. This building, they say it's regulation ice. This is an American League city, an American League building in a way. I do believe the ice is a little shorter than 200 feet. They say it's 200, but it doesn't appear that long. And the Wings are going to have to shoot the puck and find out just what Mr. Garrett can do in the nets.
Wings worked out around 11:30 this morning, Sid, and one thing they found out, they were talking about how live the boards were.
Yes, they were bouncing all over the ice.
That's Davey Keon, number 14, dropping it back, picking it up as Mike Renaud. He cleared it into the Detroit zone. Mashon in behind his own goal. It's going to be kept in by Jordy Douglas. Picked up by Keon again. Keon tried to center it. Dale McCourt checking him. They hold it to the boards. The puck came loose. Put right out in front. By Blaine Stoughton. There's a shot fired through. Davey Keon's rebound knocked away. Good play by McCourt. That puck right over the top of the Detroit goal. Now Stoughton in behind the Detroit net. And George Lyle intercept. Played it off the glass, and it slides into the Hartford zone. Moving back after it again is Gordy Roberts. Now Roberts clearing it up on the right side. Stoughton checked there by Lyle. Coming back. Roberts clearing it deep into the Detroit zone. In behind his own goal, Greg Jolly. Keon rode him off the puck at center. Here's a chance now for Renaud back at the left point with his shot deflected wide of the goal by Stoughton. Now Stoughton tried to center it. Willie Huber covered up on him. McCourt goes in after it. Dale McCourt's pass beyond Willie Huber. Keon rolled it into the corner. They go in there. That puck is still loose. Battling in along the boards. It's sent to the side of the Detroit goal. Now Huber's pass, a short one. Mike Foligno has it tied up in the skates. Now clears it ahead. Now 2-on-1. Lyle and Dale McCourt. Here's Lyle moving in with a shot, and the save made. Dale McCourt has the rebound. Faked the shot. Put it out in front, and Foligno tips it wide. Now McCord took a bump along the boards from Stoughton and coming right back. Here's Jordy Douglas moving into the Detroit zone. And his shot knocked away by Vachon. The Wings left it right there. And Vachon comes out and covers up in front of his own goal. And we'll be back with more after we pause for this.
This is just a little miscue by the Wings defenseman, a long shot that is cleared by Rogie, and the puck bounces back out, and the two wing defensemen give a more or less an Alphonse and Gaston act of taking it, and they both left it, and Douglas come right back around from the net, and Rogie had to come up with a big save.
Well, Gordie Howe moves out for the first time against the Red Wings right now. Greg Carroll, a former Detroiter, and Nick Patillo, who played with the New York Rangers. The rest of that forward line, a couple of players that moved in too quickly. We have Brent Peterson, John Hillworth, and Glenn Hicks on the forward line for the Red Wings right now. Hicks in against Howe. There are the two of them. Now Brent Peterson wins the draw. Turning with it, Reed Larson. Larson circling in behind Vachon, trying to work away from him. It came out now to Hicks. Here's Hicks chasing it along the line, carrying into the Hartford zone. Given a bump by Patillo. Brent Peterson, Patillo go into the corner. The puck loose, taken by Hicks. Hicks brought it out in front, but couldn't control it there. Now Carroll, a long pass to Howe. Patillo trailing. Here's Howe over the line. They left him wide open. And the puck was knocked away and then slid to Vachon, and two players went for Patillo, and Gordie Howe all by himself.
Well, talk about a mistake on a play. The first time Gordie Howe has handled the puck. Very long, come over from his own position. He was paying attention to Patillo, and Howe was left all alone. He kept walking in, and when you do that with Gordie Howe, he just took a look at it, and lucky a stick comes down here and hooks him just as he starts to pull around to get on his backhand.
Very long.
It was very long, slid across after getting out of position, come back and made a big play by sliding through the puck and knocking it off Gordie just when he was putting the trigger on to put it back home. I can imagine Howe just not knowing what happened.
I don't think he could believe it himself. Now Jim Corn, his pass ahead to Peterson. Out on the left side, this is Glenn Hicks. Hicks over the line into the Hartford zone. His pass tipped away by Giroux. That's Howe going into the corner after it. Patillo failed to get to it as he's checked by Hicks. Hillworth fired one wide. Here's Jim Corn back along the left point. Put it out in front. Knocked away by Giroux. Picking it up. Shot by Peterson. Was stopped. Patillo, Nick Patillo back into the Detroit zone. Jolly blocked him. Here's Greg Carroll shooting it way high and wide. Hicks didn't control it. It came right out in front. Finally, Hillworth moves out with it. Big John Hillworth of the Wings. A left side pass. That's Glenn Hicks. He's checked by Giroux. Giroux took it away from him, slides it off on the left side. Patillo goes in after it, in behind his own goal. Drops it there, Larry Giroux. On the boards on the right wing to Howe, intercepted. Here's Mahavlich. Right out in front was Hicks, and he couldn't control it. He was knocked down. Now Greg Carroll takes a slash on it, whips it out to center ice. We've played 5.5 minutes of the first period as Corn carried in with Hicks still coming back to play offside.
Big Jim Corn, a boy that played collegiate hockey just a year ago, drafted by the Wings. Kind of a surprise being up here playing with them, and has played very well. Scored his first goal against LA the other night in the new Joe Louis Arena. And his strong point, I would think, is the fact that he is about 6'4", 6'5", a good skater, good puck carrier, has to learn a little defensively.
But fresh out of College City, has not looked really out of place. Play back into the Hartford zone. Roberts had to chase it into the corner. Mahavlich bothering him, but he gets it ahead to Mark Howe. Now this is Dave Diebold shooting a long one that Vachon clears to the corner, and digging in after it is Howe. Howe sent it in behind the goal. Ray Allison cleared it to the corner again. It came right back to Allison. Dumped into the opposite corner. Danny LeBratton goes in. Now LeBratton sends it back to Barry Long. Wings moving out of their own zone. Mahavlich ahead to Netamansky. LeBratton coming ahead of him. Here's Danny LeBratton over the line. He lost it, but Mahavlich holds it in. Peter Mahavlich given a bump. And the play went loose behind the Hartford goal. Tipped out center ice, and back after it, LeBratton. This is LeBratton swinging it over on the right side. It comes out on the right wing now to Netamansky. Big Ned has Peter Mahavlich over on the left wing. Now that's LeBratton. And He's run into by number 10, Alan Hangsleben. The two of them down on top of the puck. The play will stay inside the Hartford line, and we'll be back with more of the action in just a moment. Face-off will be just inside the Hartford line. Paul Woods has Bolduc on the left wing, and out on the right side, Polonich. Woods won the draw again. Here's Bolduc handing it off to Polonich with a shot. That's blocked. Woods back to Reed Larson. Larson moving out in front. Took the shot, and that deflected to the corner off defenseman Al Sims. And the Wings had some good scoring chances. Moving back into the Detroit end is Woods. In behind Vachon. Dumping it ahead now to Greg Jolly. Jolly played it in behind his own goal, and Larson comes back after it. Swinging it out on the right side. It comes loose now, and here's Polonich. Dennis Polonich's pass to Bolduc. He got it over the line on a delayed offside. It's fired back out center ice. Jolly gives it now to Reed Larson. Here's Larson clearing it into the corner, deep in the Hartford zone. Bolduc digging in after it. Hill knocked it away from him. Al Sims, former Boston defenseman, clears it ahead, and coming out now, Brian Hill. Off to the side of the Detroit goal. Jolly will go in after it, being chased by Mike Rogers. Here's Jolly pulling away from him. Jolly with Polonich and Bolduc, three of them over the line. Jolly trying to go through. Puck slid right to the goal. But Jolly did not have control of it, and Garrett fires it all the way back out center ice. Dale McCourt fell down. Here's Mike Rogers taking it into the corner. A centering pass knocked away by Larson the first time, and Rogers shoots it out in front. Now Greg Jolly and Boutet have the sticks up high out in front of the Detroit goal, and a milling of players there. Mike Foligno gives a shove to Boutet. It was Boutet working on Jolly, and the referee is going to call penalties. Mike Foligno is taking exception really to the way they were working on Greg Jolly. And I think Foligno's been given a penalty. He's circling around.
I believe it's Jolly that's getting it, but Foligno better keep out of it or he'll get one too.
Boutet and Jolly are going to go in by the looks of it. So we'll be back with each team short a man after we pause now for this.
Now here's a play, this coming in, and it gets a little dangerous out in front of the net, and Boutet comes across the front of the net. Jolly takes him out, and they stand there, and now they start pushing at one another, and the play really is not dangerous at this point, but Boutet gets a stick up over Jolly's shoulder, and there's a little pushing and grabbing, and first thing you know, other players got involved, but the two of them got penalties.
So each team short a man. High sticking call to the two of them at 7:57. Here's Foligno coming out with Dale McCourt. McCourt over the line with a shot, and he fired it wide. A chance now for Barry Long. He fired it, knocked away right out in front. McCourt! Oh, and a big save by Garrett as Dale McCourt was wide open. And a sliding save by the Hartford goaltender. Larry Giroux hands it off now to Roberts. Gord Roberts ahead to Keon. It comes back to Giroux. Now this is Roberts again. Carrying out center ice over on the right wing. Moving in. That shot hit the crossbar. Carried into the corner. In behind Keon. Tried to center it. Came right back to him. Lane Stoughton came within a whisker a moment ago of getting the goal. Coming out now, Reed Larson. Here's Larson carrying down the right side, trying to work away from Roberts. Larson handed it to McCourt with a shot, and Garrett grabs that one. And Dale McCourt has had two great chances, and Garrett's been right there.
And both goaltenders have had to come up with big saves. Stoughton's shot hit the post, and here's a beautiful play by Larson out to McCourt. McCourt just moves right into the slot. Dale goes along the defenseman, right along the boards, makes a perfect pass out the slot. McCourt got good wood on this puck, through a screen. Garrett makes the big save. Although if had the puck been on a corner, probably either corner, it may have been in the net, it was right directly out. The Dales had two excellent chances here in the last minute.
Now it's Nedomansky and LeBratton up front for the Wings. This is Nedomansky coming back into his own zone, being chased by Douglas. In behind his own net, dumped a pass, a short one, and Huber had trouble with it, but Nedomansky picks it up. Big Ned moving his way out center ice. He's got Korn over the line, a backhand shot knocked down. Korn battles to hold it in, tried to center it. He's tied up behind the goal by Mark Howe. And they hold it there, and the whistle stops the play. Face-off stays to the left side of the Hartford net. Starting Monday at 7 o'clock, it's an hour of Hawkeye and the Madcap Medics of MASH. It'll be right here on TV 50. Peter Mahavlich is going to come out to take the face-off, replacing Nedomansky. So Rogers moves off the Hartford bench. Markow and Rogers up front. Against Mahavlich and LeBratton right now with a play deep in the Hartford zone. Rogers won the face-off. Sims dumped it right back to him. Now Rogers lost it to Danny LeBratton, but LeBratton off balance, couldn't control it. Here's Mark Howe trying to work around Jim Korn. Howe shoved off the puck by Korn. Willie Huber played it over on the left wing. Danny LeBratton failed to get to it, and then he knocked it away. Took it away from Hangslave and comes down the ice. Got Mahavlich coming with him, and the shot deflected away by Sims. He came back neatly on the play. At center ice, LeBratton again takes it. Now Danny LeBratton ahead to Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich dropped it back. The penalties to Jolly and Boutet are over. Teams are back at full strength. Play loose at center ice. We've no score in the hockey game. We're past the midpoint of the first period. Korn being turned around by Mark Howe. Now it comes back to the Hartford blue line. Moving out with it, Mike Rogers. Firing it right onto the Detroit goal, and Vachon stops it, hands it off to Polonich. Here now, Dennis Polonich skating his way out to center ice, overskated it. Willie Huber covers up. Huber's pass broken up by Boutet. And Gordy Roberts shot it right up into his own bench, and the play is whistled down.
Oiler fans, don't forget to enter the team line.
No score, 9 minutes, 26 seconds still to play in the first period.
Big Willie Huber going to the bench. Bobby Crom talking to his players. Both teams have had good scoring chances, Bruce. I think the Wings have been in position where they possibly could have put the puck in the net 3 or 4 times, while Hartford has had 1 or 2 good chances.
Puck knocked down out in front by Roberts, picked up now by DeBow. Back into the Detroit zone. He played it over on the right side to Hill. Hill dumping it in behind the Detroit goal. Boutet tried to center it. It came right out in front and knocked away, and Paul Woods heads back. Here's Woods leading a 3-man rush. Played it over on the left side. That's Danny Bolduc. Puck loose in behind the Hartford goal. Paul Woods got a stick on it, covering up there. Number 20, Mark Renaud. And it's cleared out center ice, and back after it, Reed Larson. Larson's pass right on to Renaud's stick. Now it's Dennis Polonich coming back to stop it at the Detroit line, handing it back to Reed Larson, and here's Paul Woods. Now Woods cuts over the line, wound up for the shot that was blocked before it got through. Roberts has it. Roberts playing it now to Pat Boutet. Stopped at the line by Larson, but Bolduc was trapped inside. The play offside. We'll be back in just a moment. Detroit Red Wings playing without the services again tonight of Jean Hamel, who suffered a slight concussion 2 games ago. Did not make the trip. Also, Errol Thompson. That's Greg Carroll moving over the line after a rolling puck. Willie Huber and he go in along the boards, and Greg Jolly moves in to take over. Out on the right wing now, this is Big John Hillworth ahead to Brent Peterson. Peterson carried into the Hartford zone, played it into the corner, and Hillworth couldn't get to it. Gordie Howe trying to work away from Hicks. Greg Carroll slid it along the boards. Peterson tried to hold it in, didn't do it. Nick Patillo back along the Hartford blue line. Now Patillo playing it back to Sims. Al Sims firing it off to the side of the Detroit net. Carroll just left it there, and Peterson has it. Now Brent Peterson drops it back for Greg Jolly. Here's Jolly playing it deep into the Hartford zone. Patillo being chased by Peterson. Willie Huber held it in. Patillo taking it in behind his own goal. Took a bump there from Hillworth. They did some shoving, and Hillworth went to the ice. Coming back now, Larry Giroux. Giroux wound up for a long shot off the pads of Vachon, and Greg Jolly starts back out for Detroit. Jolly a long pass. Here's Hicks carrying over the line. Hicks took the shot, and he fired it wide. Hillworth holds it in. Rolls it in behind the Hartford goal, and Giroux clears it out on the left wing. It's tipped out center ice, and the Wings have too many players on the ice. Lyle had come out to replace Hicks, and then Hicks just turned around, played the puck, which was a bad mistake on his part. And the Wings will pick up a bench penalty, and we'll be back with the first power play of the game in a moment. Well, Sid, he just made a mistake, really.
Those things happen. He was hitting for the bench, and it just happened that the puck arrived at the same time, so he made a play on it. Lyle had just stepped on the ice. It was a good call by the referee.
And a necessary one. Too many men on the ice. Well, I hate to mention it, but the Hartford power play has been the worst in the National Hockey League. They've only scored 13 goals all season long on the power play. Puck kept in at the line, though. Stoughton cleared it in toward the corner. Markow back toward the point, but Dale McCourt took it away. He went a wide open lane, but he elected to just throw it into the Hartford zone. Now the Whalers with the extra man. Too many men on the ice. The bench penalty to Detroit called at 12:54. Paul Woods took it away. Here's McCourt with it. Dale McCourt. He fired it all the way back out center ice, and Larson has it there. Now Reed Larson works it away from Keon and shoots it into the Hartford end. A minute 10 remaining in the penalty. Keon, number 14. In behind the Detroit goal, Vachon stops it there. He put it right on the stick of Keon, but Peter Mahovlich intercepts. Now Mahovlich starts out with Nedemansky. Here's Mahovlich over the line. And he's going to hand it now to Nedemansky. It went off his stick, back out center ice. Stoughton went after it, but Nedemansky got there first. The Wings have had control while Hartford's had the extra man. Peter Mahovlich turning at his own blue line. Back it comes now to Reed Larson. Larson's pass too far for Nedemansky. This is Gord Roberts with it. And Roberts is going to bring it into the Detroit zone. Roberts a long shot. Vachon is going to hold on to that. And a rather sarcastic cheer from the crowd here. An official Red Wings stocking cap can be yours if you're one of the first 5,000 kids to come to the Red Wings Atlanta Flames game on Saturday, January 26th at 2 o'clock. Caps are sponsored by Coca-Cola, and one can be yours. Don't miss the opportunity. January 26th at the Joe Louis Arena. Face-off will be to the right side of the Detroit goal. Mike Rogers in against Dale McCourt. 25 seconds left in the bench penalty. Puck came back to Howe. Here's Howe back on the line now. That shot, a backhander knocked away by Barry Long, who shoots it down the ice. Garrett stops it off to the side of his own goal. Number 17, Mike Rogers, playing it on the left side now. This is Al Sims. Sims looking for Howe. Gordy takes it over the line, tried to center it. Reed Larson came back, covered up, that puck loose. Here's Howe with it. Gordy Howe centering pass. Larson stopped that. Penalty's over. Wings are back at full strength. Now Patillo played it back on the left point. Sims took the shot, and Howe deflected it right on. And Vachon stopped that, and the Wings clear it down the ice. There'll be an icing call as Hartford's back to touch it. Gordy Howe got a stick in that, and it deflected right straight to the Detroit goal.
Well, there's no doubt Gordy has lost a step or two from the Gordy that we knew in Detroit, but he is dangerous when he's over that blue line. And here's a case where he has so many little moves. Back pass, he makes a back pass here, even though he's tied up by Reed Larson. He passes back to his own teammate in the corner. And now the puck winds up going out to the point, and Gordy moves into the slot, and the shot, he just touches it with a stick. It may have bounced over his stick, but it was right on net. Vachon had to come up with a save.
Play deep in the Detroit zone now. In behind the Red Wing goal is Dale McCourt. No score, 4:35 to play in the first period. Pass coming out to George Lyle. He's played 3 games. He has 3 goals. In behind the Hartford goal. It's cleared by Garrett, but not out. Lyle held it in. George Lyle's pass intercepted by Keon, and it ended up in the crowd off Jim Corn. No score. We're going to be back after we pause now for this. Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, our producer-director Marvin Muse from here at the Springfield Civic Center. In Springfield, the temporary home of these Hartford Whalers. That's Davey Keon clearing it in behind the Detroit net. Jody Douglas put it right out in front, but it's knocked away, and coming back McCourt. 3-man rush for the Wings. McCourt over the line, out on the right side to Foligno. Big Mike Foligno centered it, but breaking that up again was Mark Renaud. Center ice pass. Jim Corn stopped it. Corn tipped it away, picks it up himself. Now Corn is going to head over the line. Here's Jim Korn trying to work into position. He centered it. He was knocked down. It lay loose out in front. And Garrett quickly came out to grab that. And as he did, the puck came loose, but the whistle had stopped the play.
It was a quick whistle on that play. Korn made a pretty good play going around the outside, even though someone was holding on to him. He just swishes it back across in front of the net. Garrett doesn't get a hold of it, although the referee believes that he does. And when it does come loose, both Foligno and Dale McCourt were in a position possibly to jump on it. He jumps here to get it, but he missed it. And it come right out in the open again, but the referee blew his whistle.
Peter Mahovlich now with Nedomansky and LeBratton. That's Danny LeBratton playing it back toward the line, but it's tipped away by Howe. Peter Mahovlich making the check, cleared out center ice now. Here's Reed Larson with it, shooting it right back in. We have 3.5 minutes to go in the first period, no score. Played along on the left side. Mark Howe clears it back into the Detroit zone. They wave off the icing, and back after it is Greg Jolly. In along the boards, puck picked up now by Danny LeBratton. Here's Nedomansky. Nedomansky pulling up, looking for LeBratton. Danny takes it over the line. LeBratton's pass to Peter Mahovlich. Back to Nedomansky with a shot, and it was blocked out in front by Roberts. Now he hands it off to Howe. Long pass on the right side, and Greg Jolly got in front of Allison. Then Allison took it away. Sent it off to the side of the Detroit goal. This is Reed Larson with it. Larson's pass. Oh, Patil would have been in cold, but he just missed it. Here's Nedomansky back over the line, trying to work around Roberts. Roberts tripped him, and here comes a penalty to the Hartford Whalers, and Roberts is yelling at the referee as he heads over to the penalty box, and the Wings have their first power play chance.
Number 7, tripping. I believe this is a good call. He went over and called it tripping. He was beating Gordy Roberts on the outside. Nedomansky's got a pretty good head of steam on, and Gordy just stretched out as far as he could go, and with his stick actually hit at his skates, brought him down.
Well, you can take a look at the referee, which brings to mind that in our first intermission, we're going to take a look at a training camp, or school, if you will, for hockey officials, conducted by the fellow, I think, with the longest service as a referee in the National Hockey League right now, Bruce Hood. And that'll be a special feature that I think you'll be enjoying between our first and second periods. Wings now have their first power play opportunity. Puck came back to the line. Nedomansky slapped it to Dale McCourt. McCourt out in front, and he played it beyond George Lyle. Going in after it, Reed Larson, he lost it, and it's fired down the ice. Tripping call to Roberts at 17 minutes, 18 seconds. Red Wings have the extra man for still 1 minute and 40. Dale McCourt dropping it back to Nedomansky, ahead to Lyle. Here's George Lyle digging over the line with Foligno. Lyle heading into the circle, moved out in front. Puck taken by Larson, and he fired it right into the goaltender, and he was wide open. And Greg Carroll shoots it down the ice. Larson had a great opportunity. Nedomansky in behind his own net, 1:15 remaining in the penalty. Now Nedomansky ahead to Larson. He's got Lyle coming up with him. Two of them over the line. That's George Lyle. Lyle trying to work away. Couldn't do it. Foligno. They go down on top of the puck in behind the Hartford net. Face-off stays in the circle to the right.
I can't
of the
believe
Hartford goal.
I can't believe that Reed Larson would miss putting this puck in the net when Lyle made the play and left it sitting right directly 12 feet out in front. Reed just took it and popped it, but he put it right into Garrett.
Willie Huber comes out replacing Nedomansky on the right point now. 1:04 remaining in the penalty to Hartford's Gordy Roberts. 1:46 in the first period. We have still no score. McCourt in against Carroll. Carroll won the draw. Played along the boards by Alan Hangsleven. He's bringing it out to center ice and then just clears it back into the Detroit end. Willie Huber goes after it. Huber playing it now to Reed Larson. Now this is Huber again. 45 seconds left in the penalty as Larson heads out. Here is Reed Larson back into the Hartford zone. Tried a one-man rush. It's picked up by Dale McCourt. Then off to the corner. Foligno back on the line to Willie Huber. Now to Foligno again. Foligno was checked right there by Sims. Knocked him down. Going after the puck. Slid it in behind the goal. Lyle brought it right out in front. And that shot by Dale McCourt is grabbed off by Garrett.
I can't believe this. Dale McCourt, I don't know if he babies this puck as it bounces out to him. He's all by himself out in front of the net. These are the kind that you're supposed to bury when you get chances like that. It's not a case, I don't believe, of Garrett playing that well. It's just that the Wings are hitting him with everything. Now watch number 10, Bill McCourt, come in. He's all by himself right now, takes a shot, and he puts it right back to where Garrett was standing, and Garrett comes up with a big save again.
23 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hartford's Gord Roberts. Play stays to the left side of the Hartford goal. Wings have had glorious scoring chances, haven't capitalized. Huber hands it off to Jim Korn with a shot. That's blocked out in front. And coming out with it again was Garrett. He moved way out of the goal, almost to the circle that time to cut the angle.
Bruce, he was actually inside the circle when he made the save.
59 seconds to go in the first period, 18 in the Detroit power play. Puck was dropped, but they whistled it down. So we'll go through it again off to the right of the Hartford goal. Still no score in the game. Peter Mahavlich, Nedemansky, and LeBratton up front with Korn and Huber. Mahavlich got it back to Willie Huber. He fired the shot. Garrett the save. Here's Nedemansky, and he slapped it. It rolled just wide. Andy LeBratton back on the line. Jim Korn fires one. That's deflected wide off Mahavlich. Nedemansky dug it out. Here's Peter Mahavlich with it. Mahavlich handing it back to Nedemansky. The penalty is over. And Hartford's back at full strength. The centering pass by Nedemansky knocked away. Big Ned tried to work it to the blue line. He did, and Willie Huber holds it in. And it's fired by Hartford. It hit Keon, goes to the corner. They hold it there. 26 seconds remain, and the Wings have done everything but put that red light on.
You know, I don't know. This is not good for a team to have that many scoring opportunities and come up empty-handed. They have had time and time again that it was just a matter of putting the puck on the right area of the net, and it would be in.
Paul Woods with Bolduc and Polonich now. This time Keon won the face-off. Gordy Roberts swung it out on the right side. It bounced out center ice. Bolduc back after it. 15 seconds in the period. And Woods played it all the way back to his own blue line. Greg Jolly has it there. Now Jolly's pass. Woods went after it, but it's fired back into the Detroit end with 5 seconds to go. Woods circling in behind Vashon. Paul Woods dropped it off for Barry Long as the horn goes to end a scoreless first period. So that's it. We have played one period of hockey. The end of the first period, the score, the Detroit Red Wings nothing, the Hartford Whalers nothing. Well, Bruce Hood is a familiar referee around the National Hockey League circuit. He conducts an annual official school in Canada every summer. So right now, here is a look at some of the activities of that particular hockey school.
We've got 100 students here at the school this week. We've got 45 from the U.S., 54 from Canada, and 1 from Finland. They come in here and register on Sunday afternoon, and they spend a week with us in residence. We start at 7 o'clock in the morning with a workout, usually a 3-mile run each morning. And then we go into classroom sessions for the morning, and we're on ice here in the afternoon with the various drills, showing positioning, signals, and whatnot. And then at night, we have games which the fellows actually officiate. We have 8 instructors from the NHL staff, referees and linesmen, and most of them, we've been operating the school for about 13 years now, and most of them... One of the things we teach here at the school is the fact of the psychology of officiating. One of the things I tell them, students, is put yourself in the player's position, and how would you react if you were a player to your direction as an official? Rapport is probably the key word, is have the player respect you by you respecting him. The average age of the students this year is 21. We've got 3 that are 14 years of age, and we have a couple that are in
certificate for the finest in menswear, including Hartford.
Better people, too, overall, so that they have confidence in everything they do.
Many of our guests on this telecast receive a gift certificate for the finest in menswear, including Hart, Schafter, and Marks, Christian Dior, and much, much more. You go to Price's Menswear, the self-confidence store on Michigan in West Dearborn, about a mile west of the Southfield Expressway. Here at the Springfield Civic Center, after one period of play, the score Detroit nothing and Hartford nothing, and we'll return in just a moment. Sid, it was just about 2 years ago from this date that the Hartford Whalers in the World Hockey Association are playing their hockey, of course, in Hartford, and with a very heavy snowstorm in the latter part of the month of January, the roof caved in on the new arena, and the Hartford Whalers have been playing, well, here in Springfield in the National Hockey League, a building that seats around 7,600 people. So this is to be the final game, they hope, here. They come back, I think, about a week or so away from now, and they'll be opening the rest of the season at that Hartford Arena, which has been, well, supplied with a new roof.
You know, I never realized, Bruce, that they'd been that long out of their building. And I was just thinking when we got in yesterday, the fact that we landed at Bradley between Hartford and Springfield, about, I'm going to say 20 miles. Hartford is another 20 miles, say, further. I'm going to use a direction, say, north. And so that means maybe a 40-mile drive each day back and forth to practice here, to come to the games here and stuff like that. It puts a burden on a hockey club. And the fact that this isn't really their home, they're waiting for their new building, and it's going to be a lot like the Red Wings, leaving the Olympia, now going to Joe Louis Arena. They can't practice at the Joe Louis Arena. They have to go, I think they're going to go to Novi and do a lot of their practicing. Hartford is faced with the same problem. They're practicing here, and they're going to continue to practice here, even though they're moving back on the 17th, I believe, the first game in their new building.
I think it's interesting, though, the fact that they have about 6,000 season tickets sold to Hartford fans who make the big trek across to Springfield to watch the games. And we were talking with the fellow who will be your guest between periods, and I know you'll be talking a little more about it, but the Springfield people are not really attending the games to watch the Hartford Whalers. They have their own hockey team in the American League, and they attend them very, very well. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we've watched here on this Springfield ice, the first period of the game. A period I thought the Red Wings could have had 3-4 goals, but then maybe Hartford could have too.
Well, Hartford could have scored possibly the first goal. Stoughton hit the post on a play from off to the left of Rogie. They made a mistake. When I say they made a mistake, the defense went to play a puck that came off the backboards, and the backboards are very live. They puck really bounces out. They both looked at it, and I think it was Barry Long and Jolly. They were both going to make the play on it, and they decided the other fellow should take it. They both left it, and Douglas had an excellent scoring opportunity. But that was really the last lick that Hartford got. Then the Wings, and I was talking just before we come on, talking with you, saying the Wings better get a little more serious when they're in close. They are not taking the golden opportunities and really bearing down with their shots from in close. A lot of times they're maybe 15, 20 feet out in front. And instead of putting the puck in the net, they're trying to find someone else that's in better position. And 9 times out of 10, when you do that, when you make another pass when you're in that close, there's somebody there that will interfere with the pass, or the player that is in better position isn't expecting the pass, and so you wind up missing the goal. The Wings should have had this game, I would think, right now, should have been far enough ahead that they could wrap it up. And it means an awful lot to win it, because Hartford, well, they're 3 points behind Detroit. They have a game in hand, and if the Wings could win this, they could forget about Hartford for maybe a period of 10 days or so, and if the Wings happen to go on and win 3 or 4 in a row, they're right in the thick of the pack. If they don't, and they lose this game, they'll lose another one. First thing you know, they're one of the 5 teams that are outside looking in, hoping to get in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see what the next 40 minutes of hockey has for Detroit. Sid, let's talk a little bit about a fellow who took 2 shifts in that first period, number 9, Gordie Howe. He is playing, believe it or not, in his 5th decade. He started, it'd be back in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and now the 80s, all in the National Hockey League. Well, it was in the 40s and the 50s that you played at center ice with Gordie out on the right wing and a good part of the time, Fed Lindsay on the left side, if not all the time. Did you ever dream that someday in the 1980s, Mr. Howe would still be on the ice playing in a National Hockey League uniform?
I can't believe, he is a great athlete, and he's always been one that takes care of his body, and he's strong. He skated, I thought, real well in the first period. The Wings made a terrible mistake the first time that he touched the puck. Barry Long and the other defenseman got mixed up. They both went to a player that was coming down with Gordie Foyto. and they left Gordy all by himself, and you just don't leave a player like Howe to roam in by himself. And it's remarkable that Barry Long recovered, realizing that he'd left him. He turned around and had to make a dive along the ice, and his stick hit the puck just as Gordy was going to unload, and I would have bet any money that Howe would have put it in the net, because he won't miss in that area.
I'm going to tell you something. 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, when Gordy was much younger, at 42 or 47, it would have been in the goal. But he kind of hesitated. He was looking around for somebody, and I don't think he could believe that they just opened that lane for him.
Bruce, he is not skating as fast as Gordie Howe skated years ago, and we have to expect that. But he still has the moves. He can still pass the puck. And, as I say, don't make a mistake 15 or 20 feet out in front, because he will put it in the net. He has scored 11 times, and he's not playing that much. He played I think two shifts, 3 at the most that period, and I don't think we'll see him too much. He has a very bad cold, because we were going to talk. Lindsay and Howe and I were going to talk before the game started, but because of Gordie's voice, we put it off, hoping that this warm-up for this game will clear his throat, and we'll do it after the game.
On tape, and we'll have it on a future game. I should make mention of this when you talk about you and Ted and Gordie. I'm kind of looking forward to the 21st of the month of February, when Gordie has promised to be at Olympia Stadium, and Ted will be there, and you, the old production line in uniform on skates, will be skating out, and a good many of the all-time Red Wing hockey players will be there to play the present-day Red Wing team. That'll be the final game ever at Olympia Stadium. That's the 21st of February, and we'll talk a lot more about that in future telecasts. So the score here at the end of the first period of play, Detroit nothing and Hartford nothing, and we'll be back with the second period face-off in just a moment.
Little Caesar's Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner and always likes it all the way around. The carry-outs are good and hot, great for nighttime snacks. Or sit down at Little Caesar's, just order and relax. If you want variety, there's a family in for you. It's a winner, come in and see Little Caesars.
Look for our ad in the news and free press TV books for a free pizza.
Mr. Green,
Yeah.
you need any help?
Mm-hmm.
Want my Coke?
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
See you around.
all the world smiling with me. Coca-Cola has life. Have a Coke and a
Wow, thanks, Joe.
It is time for a break.
I'll say it is.
Man, you know, I'd give anything to know who won the game.
Would you give a little change?
Huh?
Let's call Sports Phone.
All right.
For local, regional, and national sports news, updated at least 40 times a day, call Sports Phone, day or night. In the 313 area, dial 1-976-1313.
Hey, they won.
You're kidding.
Go ahead, call for yourself.
How does the Bank of the Commonwealth help me? Well, I got my checking and my savings there, but more important, when I need help, they really understand me. I mean, this guy here, he's studying law, and this bum, he's into medicine. I mean, every old man wants his kid to do better than he did. So, between my back and my bank, my kid's got a future. Hey, Doc, start operating.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
My son, the judge.
Well, in the first period of play, each team had a dozen shots on the net. 12 Detroit and 12 Hartford, and John Garrett in the Hartford goal, Rogie Vachon in the Detroit net, stopped everything that was fired in their direction. You are watching Red Wing hockey on TV 50. Red Wings are back out onto the ice here prior to the start of the second period, but the Hartford Whalers have yet to make their appearance. Sid, tonight, I felt that there was a fairly good possibility that that great streak of the Philadelphia Flyers might have been stopped, because they go into Buffalo to play the team that has the second best record, and they're in action right now.
Yes, and the score at the end of the first period is Philadelphia 1, Buffalo 1, so it may be stopped, because Buffalo is an awful tough club at home. The other score in, Atlanta are leading the New York Rangers. In the first period, Atlanta 1, Rangers nothing.
And 2 weeks from today, we'll be playing a Super Bowl in football, and it'll be the Los Angeles Rams, right? And the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What a great game that'll be.
With Los Angeles winning this afternoon, just a few moments ago, I guess, that game completed.
And I hope Donna realized, your wife Donna realized that we always celebrate the Super Bowl over at your place at a little party.
I brace up the walls and the ceilings. Wish I hadn't have said that. Now there'll be 40 people. You're going to be mad at me. Well, each team with 12 shots on goal in the first period, but we've had no score. The penalties are all even at 2 aside. The referee for the game is Dennis Morrell. He is out there at center ice, calling the two teams back into action. The penalty box empty. The teams are at full strength as the second period is about to get underway. Mike Rogers at center ice with Mark Howe on the left wing and number 8, Ray Allison, on the right side for Hartford. This is Jim Korn of the Red Wings, clearing it ahead to Peter Mahovlich. Down the left wing, Danny LeBratton. Here's LeBratton swinging it over to the right side. Netamansky tipped it in, but Mark Howe took it there. Didn't get it out. Huber held it in. It came to the line. Here's Netamansky with a shot. That's deflected wide. Angsleben played it all the way back out center ice, and Jim Korn has it there. Now Willie Huber. Huber made a good move away from Howe, but he cleared it off the stick of Allison. Following up was Korn. Korn deflected it into the Hartford zone. In behind the Hartford goal, that's big Jim Korn. Into the corner with it, trying to work away from Sims. He centered it, but it's knocked away, and coming back, Hartford. Mark Howe, 3-man rush. Over the line, he played it to Rogers. Here's Rogers with it. In behind Vachon, brought it right out in front, and Vachon just stopped him on the short side. He tried to ram it in. Peter Mahovlich dropping it back now for Willie Huber. Now Huber in the corner to Jim Korn. Korn took a bump along the boards from Rogers. The wings, Danny LeBratton followed up. Netamansky couldn't get to it. And Sims hit the linesman with it. Willie Huber, a long left side pass for LeBratton. Ahead now to Mahovlich. Mahovlich drops it back for LeBratton. LeBratton moving right in. Here's LeBratton. And Garrett stopped him, and on the rebound, he stopped Netamansky. And it came right back out to LeBratton, but he was knocked down, and here's Mark Howe. Coming right back out now, Angsleben into the Detroit zone. His pass out in front. Huber tipped it away. Very long. It bounced away from him. Mark Howe hands it off to Keon. Here's Howe going back after it. It came back on the line. Angsleben with a shot, and Vachon handled that well. Peter Mahovlich. Mahovlich lifts it in the air, bounces it out center ice. Taken here by Larry Giroux. It came right back now to Willie Huber. Huber hands it back to Polonich with a shot, and Gordy Roberts deflected that high into the crowd. I'll tell you, Mr. Garrett made quite a play on the Red Wing forward, Danny LeBratton, who made a pretty good move of his own.
Well, Danny LeBratton made quite a play. He moved right in, and he tried to pull Garrett. They've been shooting from 10, 12, 15 feet out and shooting right at Garrett. This time he tried to pull him, and Garrett stayed right with him. And the surprising thing, after he had saved on LeBratton, Netamansky got a whack at the rebound, and Ned couldn't put it in.
Puck fired back out center ice. Number 2, Barry Long, heading back after it out in front of Vachon. Clears it now to Danny Bolduc. Here's Bolduc winding up. Over on the right side, Polonich took it in, but left it right there. D-ball starts back out. Bounces it off to the side of the Detroit goal. Vachon cleared it off to Barry Long. It was knocked away from him, but here's Polonich. Ahead to Paul Woods. Woods flying over the line, trying to work around Roberts. Roberts tied him up. Now Pat Boutet wins the right. Ahead to DeBoll. Here's DeBoll playing it back to Giroux, and he was checked from behind by Bolduc as he got a weak shot away. Reed Larson. Larson jammed in along the boards. That's Paul Woods given a bump by Boutet. Larson cleared it out. Here now Barry Long. He's got Larson coming up the right side, but he fired it high off the glass. Garrett plays it in behind his own net now to Gord Roberts. Out on the left side, Boutet. Now Boutet, the ball, cleared it into the Detroit zone, and Larson turns. Reed Larson clearing it out center ice. Shelton just came off the bench and bounced it back to the Detroit end. Barry Long. Now to Dale McCourt, went between his skates, back after it, clearing it center ice. Molino had his man all tied up. It goes in on a delayed offside. Here's Barry Long, though. He'll bring it out. Now Long cleared it to George Lyle and went off his stick and up into the crowd. No score in the game. We'll be back after we pause for this.
Why does only American Motors have a full 5-year, no-rust-through warranty?
Because in all its 1980 cars, AMC starts with galvanized steel in critical areas. Then add Z-Bart Factory Rust Protection as the cars are being built at no extra cost.
AMC with Z-Bart Factory Rust Protection, rust-resistant galvanized steel, and the only 5-year no rust-through warranty.
American Motors, built for today, built to last for tomorrow.
The face-off will be just inside the Hartford blue line. Dale McCord in against Davy Keon. We've played about 3 minutes, 20 seconds of the second period. Still no score in the game. Now it's Blaine Stoughton bringing it out center ice with a pass to Keon. Davy Keon dumped it into the corner. Willie Huber goes in along with Jordy Douglas. Huber coming out with the puck. Cleared it beyond Mike Foligno. They wave off any icing and back after Dallin Hangsleben in behind his own goal. His pass tipped back out center ice. Huber played it all the way back into the Detroit end, and Jolly's back after it. Greg Jolly's pass tipped right to the line. Here's McCourt picking it up. Dale McCourt trying to go through, handed it to Foligno, and the puck was knocked away. McCourt fell down off to the side of the goal. That puck is loose, but Hangsleben has it and clears it ahead to Blaine Stout. And the Wings again had a good chance and failed to click on it. That play went in offside. Coming down the left wing, Mark Renaud went in too quickly. Well,
Greg Jolly. Greg has played exceptionally well for the Wings. You know, he's not a big, rough, tough defenseman. He is no doubt the best puck carrier on the Wing defensive corps. Very smart in his own zone, passes the puck real well. And the last couple of weeks has had 2 or 3 sorties end to end and scored a couple pretty goals.
Hangsleben clearing it back into the Detroit zone, trying to go around Huber, but he's checked by Jolly. That shot knocked away by Huber, and it's Mike Foligno with it. Playing it off the boards, Jolly's pass went right into the Hartford bench off the Whaler player, and will come back out over the Detroit blue line for the faceoff.
You mentioned this building seats 7,600 or so, Bruce, so it appears as though every seat is pretty well filled. Must be pretty tough to exist, though, in the National League when you play in a building that only seats 7,600.
I think they're underwritten by an insurance company right now in Hartford, which has a few of them. Now here's Willie Huber clearing it in behind his own goal. Greg Jolly worked it away from Stoughton. Wings failed to get it out. Hangsleben fired it in behind the Detroit goal again. Now it came up too far from Mike Foligno. Court had a stick on it, couldn't control it. Lyle went after it. It's a little shinny at center ice right now. Jolly dumped it to the line. Renaud played it back out center ice. Here's Keon, he and Stoughton. Davy Keon, and he was checked there by Huber. Huber knocked it away the second time. Lyle gave it back to Huber, and it bounced beyond Foligno. A centering pass, and Brody Vachon stayed in front of that. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Jolly, I believe, and Greg doesn't like that. So Greg Jolly is going to go off, and he just stood there and looked at referee Morrell, but he's going to go in.
A little bit on the cheap side.
And we'll be back with the Hartford power play after this.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
A misplay just inside the Red Wing blue line. Foligno comes back, and the puck is left just inside the line, and both Detroit players actually went out of the zone. And first thing you know, it comes back, and it gets right back out in front of the net to Rogie Vachon, and Jolly gets called for pulling the player down directly out in front of the goal.
He's off for holding. The time of the penalty, 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Very Long taking a swipe at the puck. Howe plays it back to the line. Gordy Roberts with a shot. It hit the goal post. And on the rebound, they fired it wide. Oh, what a chance. They had Vachon beaten, and it banged off the goal post. That's Roberts holding it in, dumping it into the corner. A bouncing puck, and Very Long fires it down the ice. Well, Hartford leads in goal posts 2-0 in the game. Al Sims, number 3. With the extra man, the Hartford Whalers bring it out center ice. Here now Sims over the line to Mark Howe. Back to Sims. Gordie Howe cruising in front of the goal. It comes back to Gordie Roberts. He fired that one and went off Mahovlich. Mahovlich limping around. Another shot. That's on the save, and Paul Woods picks it up, and he fires it down the ice. And Mahovlich is limping over. He has a grimace on his face as he comes to the Detroit bench. 1 minute remaining in Jolly's penalty. Hartford has come close. Mark Howe. Now to Gordie. Gordie Howe. He's not supposed to skate that fast. He put it right to the goal. Knocked away by Vachon. Rogers hands it back now. Gordie Roberts in behind the Detroit goal. Vachon grabs that puck as it came off to the side of the net. They hold it there. Face off to the right of the Detroit goal. You want Mr. Howe and Gordie I'm talking about for a little burst of speed.
Well, when he sees that he has an opportunity, they have the man advantage, and things that opened up for him. He's good, no doubt, for a rush or two at a time. Here he comes around, cuts, gives it. Paul Woods an inside-out deke, and then goes inside. Took a shot, but that didn't get too much wood on it. He picks it up here now and just shoots it towards the net. Goes through the defenseman's legs and right to the net, but Vachon had no trouble with it.
We have 41 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Greg Jolly. 13:32 to go in the game, in the second period, and the game remains scoreless. Now this is Gordie Roberts back on the left point. Keon on the right point takes the pass. Off the circle. Stoughton sent it back to Keon. Keon's pass goes off to the side of the net. Turning with it there is Nick Rogers. That's Roberts who's gone in deep, handing it back to Stoughton. Gordie Roberts back on the line to Keon with a shot, and that's deflected off Woods up into the crowd. And 13 seconds remain in the penalty time to Jolly of Detroit.
Now, this is a much better-looking power play for Hartford than the first one. They have at least had to play in Detroit's zone and have moved the puck back and forth. Paul Woods made an excellent play there. He got over to Keon before Keon could get a shot away. They were screening in front of Rogie Vachon, but Paul got there to deflect the puck away up into the crowd.
Face-off will be inside the Detroit blue line. Dale McCord and Keon. McCord won the draw. Very long. Fires it the length of the ice. Don Garrett, he's made the big moves when he's had to. Hankleben plays it off center ice. Reed Larson knocked it away there. Here's Hicks with it, driving it back in. Jolly's back on, and the Wings are back at full strength. Now Davy Keon laying it out on the left side. Moving out with it is Jordy Douglas. Douglas's pass got caught up in the pads of John Hilworth, fell to the ice. Hicks goes after it. Here now Glenn Hicks carrying into the Hartford zone with a shot. And that went off the goaltender Garrett's stick up into the crowd. Well, why can't Eddie Roberts score with his wife? Find out later. It premieres tomorrow at 11 right here on TV 50. And a good one, John Garrett.
Yes, John Garrett. If I recall, John Garrett was drafted by St. Louis back in about 72, 73, somewhere there, and then jumped to World Hockey and has been in World Hockey ever since.
Brent Peterson won the draw. Korn fires a shot wide. Patillo goes after it. In behind his own goal. Then Hicks sent him in toward the corner, bumped him off the puck. Patillo gave Hicks a little rap, and they're kicking Hicks' stick around. He lost it. That puck is out at center ice. Hilworth played it. Howe cleared it off the skate of Greg Carroll. Willie Huber just sent it back out center ice. Here's Gordie Roberts with it, clearing it back into the Detroit end. Back after it, Korn. Carroll took it away. His pass sent into the corner again. Patillo tried to center it. Stopped by Brent Peterson. Now this is Korn. Jim Korn has long pass way out in front of Hilworth. That's going far enough for an icing. Back after it, Roberts, and the play will come right back into the Detroit zone. We'll be back for the face-off in a moment.
Wearer fans, check the back of your...
Yeah, the banks are all alike. They say they want to help, but where are they when you need them?
When I needed help, they told me that I didn't have enough of my money to get any of their money.
Oh, you guys have been banking with the wrong banks. The Bank of the Commonwealth, they helped me send my kid through college. Braces for my daughter's teeth. My wife's car. In fact, I get so much help from my bank, my family thinks I'm made of money.
Here, let's see you make this into money.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Just like my family.
Gordie Howe, 2 months away from being 52 years of age. Out on the right wing with Greg Carroll, Patillo on the left side. Playing deep in the Detroit zone. Puck came back to the line. Gordie Roberts fired a shot, knocked down in front. Peterson didn't hold it. Here's Howe with a shot. He shot it wide. Now Glenn Hicks. Hicks bumped in along the boards by Patillo. Patillo hands it back to Howe. Carroll's shot was blocked. Howe goes into the corner after it. Gordie Howe's pass tipped away. It comes back to Hangsleden, back along the Hartford blue line. Ahead now to Carroll. Carroll has Patillo moving over the line. He was turned around. Howe overskated it. Carroll handed it back to Howe. Here's Gordie Howe with it, turning away from Brent Peterson. In the corner now to Carroll, out in front. The shot knocked away, and Vachon covered up on the front of the goal with Patillo right there on the doorstep.
Yeah, this line has caused a lot of problems here in this shift. Gordie with Carroll and Patillo. Gordie puts it way back out to the point man here, and it goes right back out in front of the net. Rogie had to make a quick move to rob Patillo and Carroll, both of them out in front of the net.
We have played just about 9 minutes of the second period. There is still no score. The Red Wings and the Hartford Whalers.
Might mention, too, that they are playing against the makeshift line. John Hillworth, Brent Peterson just brought up. Dennis Sobchuk, Hogabaum have been assigned to Glen Falls.
Peter Mahavlich, while he was killing off that penalty a little while ago, took a heavy shot on the ankle and really limped off, but he's back out there. The icing call against Detroit. Sid, while you mentioned Glen Falls, there have been 3 players assigned to Glen Falls from the Red Wings this year. Perry Miller, of course. Now Dennis Sobchuk and Bill Hogabaum.
Right, and 3 have been brought up just recently. Lyle, Hillworth, and Peterson. Peterson was the first-round draft pick a year ago that broke his ankle about the 5th game of the season. Big John Hillworth has been up and down the last year or so.
Larry Giroux handing it over on the left side to Al Sims. Into the corner, Reed Larson. Puck went in behind the goal. Mahavlich tipped it to the corner. Danny LeBratton didn't get it out. Here's Giroux. Giroux with a shot, and Vachon went low and knocked that away. Rogers holds it in, played it along the board. Digging it out, Allison. Ray Allison off to the side of the net. Mark Howell let it go. A centering pass went off Mahavlich, knocked down by LeBratton. He starts Mahavlich out. Nedemansky on the right side. Mahavlich over the line. He hands it back to Nedemansky. A weak shot and knocked away. A puck went right through the goal mouth. Now Howe played it out center ice, and Reed Larson turns with it there, trying to work away from Rogers. He does. And he just lifts it back into the Hartford zone. Garrett will stop it in behind his own net. Giroux's pass broken up by Danny LeBratton, but Giroux takes it again. Now Larry Giroux fired it too far out in front of Mark Howell. It goes right to Vachon, so there's no icing. Turning with it, Reed Larson. Here's Reed Larson moving out center ice. Larson over the line, trying to go through. He failed to get around Giroux. Now Sims' pass broken up. Mahavlich tipped it back to LeBratton, and then Long shoots it the length of the ice, so there will be an icing call. And the play back into the Detroit end with a strip on the left side of Rogie Vachon.
I believe Hartford has come out a little bit, Bruce. They've had some scoring chances lately. The Wings haven't got things going the way they were in the first period.
Red Wings return home at Joe Louis Sports Arena on Wednesday night with the New York Rangers coming in to form the opposition. 1 week from tonight, Detroit will be in Chicago, our next telecast against the Blackhawks. And boy, they're playing good hockey right now. Here now is Mike Foligno heading over the line, trying to work around Gord Roberts. Foligno went in behind the net. Puck bounced there. Keon played it to the corner. Stoughton and Foligno bumped there, and coming out with it, Keon. Now moving down the ice, we're now into the Detroit zone, and the 2 Hartford players collide, but the play went in offside. We'll be back with more after we pause for this.
What's the pesky difference that makes the great American brand great? Well, for hot dogs, the pesky difference is bursting with flavor goodness. In jumbo size and in super size for a bite of hot dog with every bite of bun. Bursting with flavor. That's the pesky quality difference you can taste.
Pesky makes the difference that makes great American great.
Pesky Great American hot dogs are sold in the new Joe Louis Arena.
Face-off will take place out over the Detroit blue line. Dale McCourt with George Lyle on the left wing and Mike Foligno on the right side. That's Davy Keon. Puck came back to Willie Huber. He drops it to Barry Long, and now back to Huber. Huber's pass deflected away. Jordy Douglas hit the boards rather heavily. Now Foligno's pass way behind Lyle. Foligno moved over to tie up Keon. Dale McCourt gets into it. They hold the puck right there, and the face-off stays in the center ice zone.
You know, there's so many things in common with the Whalers, between the Whalers and the Red Wings. The fact that the Red Wings played so many games on the road. The Whalers have 25 of their last 40 games at home, too, so that's an advantage for them.
You looked at Davy Keon. He leads this Hartford team in overall scoring with 6 goals and 30 assists. He goes in against Dale McCourt right now. Play right at center ice. McCourt won the draw. Huber has to chase it back in his own line. Flips it off to Barry Long, a bouncing puck. Long played it to Lyle. Puck still bouncing around. Keon bumped into Lyle, but Lyle gets the pass away. Moving Mike Foligno. Foligno, his pass tipped away from Lyle. Dale McCourt tried to hold it in, but it's sent off to center ice. Back in is Stoughton, dropping it off for Keon. Keon played it to the side of the goal. It came right out in front. It's still there. Here's Keon going after it. Very Long sliding along the ice, knocked it away. Dale McCourt didn't hold it. It came right back now to Gordy Roberts. Here's Roberts trying to move into position. His pass broken up by Foligno. He starts Lyle out. Lyle is 1-on-1, moving with Mark Renaud. Lyle dropped it off, though. Dale McCourt couldn't get to it, and Stoughton cleared it back out center ice. Reed Larson back along his own blue line. 8 minutes to play in the second period, no score. Red Wings and Hartford. Now Foligno, McCourt on the right side. Foligno over the line, trying to go through, dropped it off. McCourt couldn't reach it. They go into the corner, and coming out with it is Renaud. He played it along the right wing for Hill. Hill couldn't get to it. Jim Korn knocked it away. Here's McCourt. Dale McCourt circling. Now McCourt trying to set up Polonich. The pass went behind him and came all the way back into the Detroit end. Danny Bolduc is being worked on a bit out in front of that Hartford goal. Here now Reed Larson handing it to Bolduc. Back into the Hartford zone. Bolduc shot wide, and he was open, cutting right in. And his shot off target. Puck hit the linesman. Coming back after it, Paul Woods. Handing it off now to Korn. Danny Bolduc. Bolduc was checked right there. Dave Tebow turned back into the Detroit end. In behind the Detroit goal, Reed Larson. That puck bounced away from Korn. Bolduc went after it, couldn't hold it. Angsleben played it to the opposite side. Polonich will pick it up there. Starts Woods out. Here now, Paul Woods. And that pass tipped up into the crowd off the stick of defenseman Al Sims. It is NCAA basketball action. The University of Michigan's Wolverines take on the Indiana Hoosiers. That'll be Thursday at 7:30, and that'll be right here on TV 50. Saturday night, these same two teams, the Red Wings, Mr. Howe and his Hartford Whalers, will be at Detroit's Joe Louis Sports Arena. And there'll be a huge crowd on hand for that one. Going to be a penalty coming up as Bolduc was pulled down, and Angsleben is not going to like that. But he's got the stick tangled up in Bolduc's skates. And now the penalties will be all even at 3 aside, and the Red Wings are going to have their second power play chance.
Danny Bolduc's home is down in this area. No doubt his mother and dad and family are here. He has played a strong game all night long. He tries to go around Angsleben, and he gives a little deep, cuts around, and Angsleben gets the stick in between his legs and gives it a twist, pulls him down, and gets, in a way, a cheap penalty. The referee is letting a lot go, but this game has not been rough. I think the Wings should try and rough up this club a little bit. They're not a big physical club at all, but there's been a little body checking at all tonight.
So Detroit has Peter Mahovlich, LeBratton, and Nedemansky up front. McCourt and Larson at the points. The face off the rim of the circle, off to the right. Now the Hartford goal, Greg Carroll, the bearded number 31, in against Mahovlich. And they're going to wave Carroll out. He won a lot of face-offs. Peter Mahovlich is going to be waved out, too, by
He didn't have a beard.
Flaherty.
He didn't have a beard last year in Detroit, did he?
I don't know. He was kind of going back and forth between them, I think. He was always a good face-off man. Now it's McCourt. McCourt won the draw. Reed Larson dumped it off to Mahovlich. He just deflected it off to the side of the net. Carroll failed to get it out the first time. Now followed up. And that puck driven all the way back into the Detroit end with Nedemansky back after it. Playing it now to Dale McCourt. McCourt hit the back of the goal with it, so Nedemansky will pick it up. Nedemansky's pass went off a stick to Reed Larson. Wings having trouble moving it out of their own end. Here's Larson with it. Now Reed Larson in behind Vachon. A minute and a half left in the power play. This is Dale McCourt, left wing pass to LeBratton. Danny LeBratton pulls up, looks, hands it back now to McCourt. Dale McCourt back to LeBratton in the circle. His pass to Nedemansky, and he fanned on it. Nedemansky tried to center it. That's tipped in behind the net. Peter Mahovlich worked it back to Nedemansky. Now Big Ned tried to set up LeBratton. He did. Right out in front, he scores. And Danny LeBratton made every move in the world to beat Garrett that time.
And you know where he put that puck? Off the post. He put it up over Garrett's shoulder and up off the inside post. But it was a terrific play. He took a pass from the corner. First of all, LeBratton tried to set up Nedemansky, and Nedemansky found on a shot, but he did every move there is. Finally put it up over Garrett's left shoulder, hit the inside of the post and come in, took the pass from Nedemansky in the corner. And the Wings finally get on the board.
Well, the fellow that scored 2 of the big goals against Atlanta in the game Friday night. Danny LeBratton gets another one here tonight, his 17th on the season. And the power play goal at 14:07 from Mahovlich and Nedemansky gives Detroit a 1-0 lead. Team's now back at full strength. Here is Greg Jolly. Dumping it along the boards. It goes in behind the Hartford goal. Angsleben clears it ahead, and D-ball starts out. Over on the left side, Patillo cutting in. He scores! Yogi Vachon came out to cut the angle, and Patillo just moved in and beat him.
Oh, that didn't take long to come right back after not scoring a goal for 35 minutes. We get 2 in a matter of seconds. Paul Woods comes all the way back with Patillo, and he just got around the outside of Willie Huber and kept going in, and from the top of the circle, from a fairly good angle, Paul Woods draped all over him. He caught the upper left-hand corner behind Vachon to tie this score at 1-1.
Goal came just 20 seconds after LeBratton had scored. Angsleben and DeBoll draw the assist. So 20 seconds after LeBratton had scored, Patillo scores his 4th of the year, and it's tied at 1-1. Willie Huber, center ice. Dropping it back now to Jolly. Here's Greg Jolly clearing it back to Huber. On the move, Brent Peterson. Peterson passed to Lyle. He tried to go through. Peterson goes after it. Taking a bump along the boards. Lyle tried to work it out to Foligno. It came loose, but it's knocked away, and coming out Carroll. Patillo. Patillo got to the line. Huber gave him a bump. Patillo tried to kick Huber's stick as it bounced away. Here's Peterson back into the zone. He dropped it off for Lyle, and Howe hooked him, or rather hooked the puck away from him from behind. Gordie Howe's pass off Foligno. Going after it, Brent Peterson, the 2 of them in along the boards. They hold it there, face off in the circle to the right of the Hartford goal. And so often happens, you play a hockey game for just about 16 minutes with not a, 36 minutes, 16 into the second period. 14 into the second period, and not a goal scored, and then 2 of them within 20 seconds.
That's, just as you mentioned, Bruce, that happens so often in hockey, you'd wonder why. Both clubs had scoring opportunities and couldn't put the puck in the net, and then 2 in 20 seconds.
Puck came out center ice with Reed Larson holding it there, giving it now to Barry Long. Over on the right side, Nedemansky trying to work away from Renaud. Handed it back now to Peter Mahovlich. Danny LeBratton put it out in front, but Larry Giroux takes that. Coming out with an Allison. Ray Allison's pass went off Mark Howe, turning back LeBratton. Danny LeBratton ahead to Nedemansky, back to LeBratton. Danny LeBratton fired the shot, and Garrett got a piece of that. It's in behind the goal. Renaud cleared it along the boards. That's Reed Larson holding it in. Mark Howe checking him.
All right.
Now it's Renaud clearing it into the corner for Larry Giroux. Giroux's pass coming out to Mike Rogers. Down the right side, Allison back to Rogers. And the play whistled down offside. We'll be back with more in this 1-1 tie after we pause for this.
First, Little Caesars introduced Pizza Pizza. 2 medium pizzas for the price of 1. And you ate it up. Now,
Pizza goes all the way. Small, medium, and large. For any size appetite, any size wallet.
Mushrooms.
Because you can feed a lot of hungry mouths.
Pepperoni.
Without spending a lot of money.
Pizza. Double cheese, double cheese, double cheese, double cheese.
Little Caesars Pizza. 3 good ways for pizza that's twice as good.
In our second intermission, the newly appointed public relations director of the Hartford Whalers, a fellow who spent 8-9 seasons with the National Hockey League in the New York office, Bob Casey, is going to be talking with Sid Abel. The Wings have Paul Woods out now with John Hillworth and Hicks. Puck sent back into the Hartford zone, cleared along the boards, and Mark Howe picks it up. Now Howe leaves it there for Mike Rogers, charging into the Detroit zone. Howe with a shot. That deflected right out in front. And moving in, Allison just missed it there. Coming right back, Willie Huber. Now Huber over the line, trying to go through. He did. He took the shot, and it slid just wide of that right post. Coming right back now, Mark Howe down the left wing. He fired that one, and Vachon handcuffed a bit, made the save. Paul Woods tied up his man Howe. The puck is in behind the goal. The referee has stopped the play, and I think he has called a penalty. And it's John Hillworth who is going into the penalty box off what looked to be elbowing. So while he does, we'll be back after we pause for this.
An energy message from Amoco.
When you read about the American dollar dropping in value, this is one of the places where it happens. These traders know there are many reasons why the dollar drops. One of them is that too many dollars go overseas for foreign oil. Amoco wants to do its part to help your dollar by producing more American oil. The money spent on American oil stays at home, helping to strengthen your dollar. America runs better on American oil.
Well, Big John Hillworth.
Big John sitting in the penalty box, trimmed up. He went to the barber today and got his mustache all trimmed up. Big fellow in the National League.
Off for elbowing. Game tied at 1-1. That's Patillo. In the corner, Stoughton sent it back to the line. Gordy Roberts hands it back to Stoughton. And Stoughton played it beyond Roberts. Dale McCourt giving chase to him. Puck sent deep into the Hartford zone. Nedemansky when chasing in with Keon. Now Gord Roberts in behind his own goal, starting out again. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to play in the second period. 1.5 minutes left in the penalty. Detroit short a man. Vachon clears it off now to Nedemansky. Off the skate of McCourt to center ice. Keon. Back now to Roberts. Back to Keon. Keon clearing it on the right side to Stoughton. Stoughton played it off Douglas. It went off Patillo. He didn't know where it was. Into the Detroit end and lifted by Reed Larson, but held in by Patillo. Larson picked it up again, and this time he golfed it up into the crowd off a Hartford player. Try some of the new Pesky Great American brand premium products with the quality difference you can taste. The bursting with flavor hot dogs, the extra lean bacon, the lean and firm hams, and the Deli Fresh lunch meats.
You know, it's little plays like that inside your blue line when you're short a man. You get possession of the puck, you should really make sure you throw it down the ice because you just put your team in the hole by making a mistake inside the zone.
Ray Allison, when digging in after it, played it back on the point now to Gord Roberts. That's Allison. Off the circle to Rogers. Here's a chance now for Roberts. Roberts drilled the shot, and that puck knocked away by Vachon, and very long. Finds the hole and shoots it down the ice. 1/2 minute left. 35 seconds in the Detroit penalty to Hillworth. 1:40 now in the second period. Coming down the left side again is Roberts. Now that's Rogers firing it in behind the Detroit net. Vachon stopped it with Allison coming in. He was checked there by Long. Paul Woods goes in behind his own goal. He was hauled down. Now Mark Howe hands it back to Rogers. Rogers playing it back to the point for Sims, but Woods came back to take that away. Woods has Peter Mahovitz moving. He just played it back into the Hartford end. The penalty to Hillworth is over, and the Red Wings are back at full strength. Hillworth stopped it one time, knocked back into the Detroit zone. Here's Sims with it. Sims fired it right through the goal mouth. Now Mark Howe scoops it along the boards, being checked there by Hillworth. Rogers was checked by George Lyle. Hillworth overskated it, lost his stick. Hillworth without a stick, couldn't control it. Here's Rogers with it. Mike Rogers tipped away by Reed Larson, and Hillworth still playing without a stick. George Lyle didn't get it out. The Wings having problems deep in their own end. Now Jim Korn circles in behind Vashon. We have a half a minute to play in the second period. Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich starting out. Now Peter checked right there. Here's DeBoer moving back in. DeBoer right out in front. And making the check, Jim Korn. Play stays still deep in the Detroit end. Renaud played it out in front. Peter Mahavlich back out center ice. 5 seconds to play here in the second period with a 1-1 tie. Jim Korn played it to the line as the buzzer goes to end the second period. So each team scoring just 20 seconds apart. Here is the second period scoring summary, brought to you by Magnavox and Predator Appliance Stores. It was Danny LeBratton scoring the first goal of the hockey game at 14:07, assisted by Peter Mahavlich and Vaslav Nedemensky. And LeBratton's 17th goal came at 14:07. And then Portillo took just 20 seconds to tie it up. DeBoer and Angsleben assisting. And Portillo's 4th goal of the year, 20 seconds after LeBratton had scored, tied the hockey game at 1-1. In the second period, Detroit with 6 shots, and Hartford had 10. That's 22 Hartford and 18 Detroit. So that's it. The end of the second period. We'll return with our special guest in just a moment.
This Bud's for everybody who helps keep our country on the move.
This Bud's for you. You're working hard all day just like you always do.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Hi. There's a new late-night comedy serial coming soon called The Life and Times of Eddie Roberts. Some life. They think it's hilarious when Eddie's wife leaves him to seek her identity as a chicken. They laugh at his $4,000 electric bill, and they really scream the day Eddie turns gay from a male contraceptive pill. I myself fail to see the humor in this, because I'm Eddie Roberts.
Later premieres tomorrow night at 11 on TV 50.
Makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice. That's the way it should be. And I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a coconut smile.
I own this place. But tonight, no more work. Tonight is celebration, because tomorrow I go back to Greece. You know how? Because my friends at Bank of the Commonwealth, they helped me to start this place when other banks do not. Now, I go back to Greece, and my cousins, they think I am big shot. I am not big shot, but at Bank of the Commonwealth, they treat me like a big shot.
Big shot.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Well, in Detroit, we're very anxiously awaiting, I would say, February 4th and 5th, 2 big dates in the history of the Motor City, because the National Hockey League All-Star Banquet will be held on the 4th, and then the big game at the Joe Louis Sports Arena on the 5th. And a fellow's been around the National Hockey League, working in the public relations area and out of New York City for some 8-9 seasons, is Bob Casey, who I guess knows about as much about putting All-Star games together as anybody around. He is now with the Hartford Whalers as their public relations director, and even more right now, he is with Sid Abel.
Well, Bob, before talking about the All-Star Banquet and the All-Star Game, you face something similar to our PR directors, Bud Lynch and Al Coates, and the fact that you're going to have to leave this building and go back to Hartford. What is the latest on the move back to your own rink?
Well, right now, Sid, this is supposed to be, and we certainly hope is our last game in Springfield. We move into the new Hartford Coliseum on January the 17th. We play Pittsburgh that night. But, you know, it's funny. You go in every day and you look at that arena and you say, will it be ready? And they say, yes, it will be. And every day you see progress, and you just keep your fingers crossed. We're really looking forward to it. We've been a commuting team going between Hartford and Springfield, our players.
How about your fans? I mean, do you have solid Hartford fans that are commuting back and forth?
Oh, absolutely. It's about 30 to 31 miles from Hartford to Springfield. I would say that 85% of the fans in this building are Hartford area people. They're the ones that are making the trip. We have a club called the 91 Club. That's the route from Hartford up to Springfield. And these are members, and they're all going back to Hartford, and they have signs all over the building tonight saying, we're going back to Hartford.
Well, Bob, after spending, so many years in the National League office in New York, then moving to Hartford, and while you were in New York, you handled so many all-star banquets. Are you going to take part in the big banquet coming up on the 4th of February before the big game on the 5th?
Oh, sure. It's going to be a little funny because I'll be a spectator, sort of a bystander, or sideliner, you might say. But I was involved in 8 for the National Hockey League and in cities like Chicago and New York and Vancouver and Buffalo and Montreal. It's a very big thing, and it's very big to the National Hockey League. It's an extravaganza. It's a classic, a showpiece to have the All-Star game in your city. And the way it is, the most you can hope for is once every 21 years. I know that the league is really looking forward to Detroit, the Renaissance Center, the new building, and our players have really performed the last two years when they played.
Well, the fact that it's going to be played in Joe Louis Arena, and I understand the game has been sold out, somewhere in the neighborhood of 19,000 people, which is beautiful. But I understand that there are still tickets available for the banquet on February the 4th. Has Al Coates put you up to date on those?
Yes, Al says that there are tickets, available for the dinner. And the dinner is part of the festivities. It's a big thing. The money goes to charity. It goes to the Special Olympics. Prior to the game, of course, there's going to be a one-period game between the U.S. and the Canadian Olympic team. But the banquet, don't forget about it. The money goes to charity. It's a great show. Mac Davis, Norm Crosby. All the players are on the dais up front, along with all the great trophies and all the outstanding people. It's really a night that people should attend.
Now, Bob, I don't know if I'm right in asking you this, because I haven't really spent that much time on trying to figure out the All-Star team. The All-Star team is picked amongst the divisions, isn't it?
Yes, well, what it is, it's the Clarence Campbell Conference, of course, against the Prince of Wales. And the Pro Hockey Writers Association, they select the first teams, the coaches, then fill in. And each team has to be represented. There has to be a player from each member of the National Hockey League teams. And so you've got the best, and it's really a game. The last 2 years, one went overtime, and the one before that was a one-goal game, too. And they really played very, very well.
All right, if there weren't a player, say, selected by the coach from the Hartford team, would it be possible that they would send a fellow like Gordie Howe that the people in Detroit would love to see?
Well, I'm sure that everyone wants to see Gordie Howe, and I'm sure that that's going to be taken into consideration when the time comes for the selections. It'd be great to have there. You're going to have him here, next week?
Next week on the 12th, he plays Detroit. How well has he played, Bob? I mean, you see him practices and games and things like that.
He's, certainly for a man his age, he's played very, very well. He's an inspiration to the players both off and on the ice. He makes the good passes, makes the good plays. There are times maybe late in the game where he's not able to go at maybe as full speed as he would like to. But nevertheless, in every arena he goes in, he shows you flashes of the old Gordie Howe. And the press has been, in every city we've gone to, has just been staggering, the numbers of people trying to interview him. And he has had great patience doing it.
You know, I noticed an article in the paper today saying that Hartford is a young hockey club. They are young, no doubt, young as far as experience is concerned, but yet they have Davy Keon, who is 39, and they have Gordie Howe, who is 51,
right.
Playing regular, and Keon is your leading goal scorer. Would you think that players like this would be possibly playing their last year then, so that you can get really to a youth program?
Well, I think that basically, except for Gordie and for Davy, it is a young club. I think we're committed to youth. I think at the end of the year, Gordie will have to, make his decision what he wants to do, and Davy too. But it's still a young club, and we're committed to that.
Well, Bob, we're going to see you in Detroit on February the 4th, and you're going to be Al Coates' right-hand man, I believe, trying to jive up the tickets for the big banquet on the 4th. And as I understand, that's a black tie affair. Now, black tie, does that mean we all have to get tuxedos?
I'm not so sure that everyone has to get a tuxedo. I think if you're very presentable in a dark suit, I'm sure they'll let you in.
Thanks ever so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Sid.
We'll see you in Detroit on the 4th and 5th.
I'll be there.
Fine.
Okay, Sid and Bob, we thank you for being our guest. Magnavox, manufacturers of the finest in electronics and cabinet styling, takes pride in presenting you with a certificate for a 12-inch black and white Magnavox television. At the end of 2 periods of play from here in Springfield, the score: Detroit 1, the Hartford Whalers 1. We'll return in just a moment.
An energy message from Amoco.
Nobody likes waiting in line, and it's worse in the unemployment line. Among the many reasons people don't have jobs is America's dependence on foreign oil. The money sent overseas for foreign oil has cost Americans thousands of jobs in a wide range of industries. Amoco wants to do its part to help change this by searching for more American oil. The money spent for American oil stays in America, helping create jobs for Americans. America runs better on American oil.
Does American Motors Concord DL give you more value than Citation?
We think so. Citation has a 14-gallon gas tank. Concord has a 22-gallon gas tank. Think about that this weekend. Concord DL gives you more standard luxuries, individual reclining seats, full vinyl roof, and more, all at no extra cost. Even Z-Bart factory rust protection, and the only 5-year no rust-through warranty, that 1980 Concord.
American Motors. Built for today, built to last for tomorrow.
Can I offer you a Coke, sir?
No.
7-Up, some coffee?
No.
Something a little stronger.
No. I'd rather Werner's.
No matter what else you got, don't get caught with your Werner's down.
Wherever you're going, it's nice to know Werner's is there. Nothing can replace Werner's mysteriously refreshing taste. Absolutely nothing.
Don't get caught with your Werner's down.
Well, Sid, you and Bob covered the All-Star, Crosby and Mac Davis, and a lot of good hockey that we're going to be looking forward to in February. Let's get back to things right here and now at the Springfield Civic Center, where the Red Wings and Hartford are a 1-1 hockey game. In that second period, Hartford outshot the Wings 10-6, so I would say that they carried the play to Detroit a good part of that period.
It's been a good 40 minutes, Bruce. I thought Hartford come on stronger in the second period. The Wings had all their golden scoring opportunities in the first period. Here in the second, they seem to lay back and let Hartford come at them. And it's funny, after going 36 minutes or 35 minutes without a goal, the Wings finally score by hitting the post over Garrett's shoulder, LeBratton scoring, and they come back in 20 seconds and tie the game. And it's an up-and-down hockey game, and if anybody that does get lucky in front of the net's going to win it. There's no doubt about it.
They played over 34 minutes without a goal being scored, and then bang, bang, 2 of them within 20 seconds, one aside. You mentioned during the course of our play-by-play of that second period that this was a team the Red Wings should be using their bodies on, hitting a little bit. We did not see what I could call a good hit any place in the first 2 periods of hockey.
No, and I believe they're making a mistake and not roughing them. And I would think if they'd come out, Hartford is not a big hockey club. If they'd have come out and maybe gone after them physically, I would think that Hartford may have backed off. But the fact that you can play 40 minutes and not get bumped gives you a lot of confidence. And you come out now and you can freewheel. Davy Keon and some of these fellows, Davy DeBoll, they're all free skaters. And if they don't get hit, they can cause you problems.
What about a guy like Gordie Howe? What if you were a young hockey player, or just let's say a fellow with 3 or 4 years in the National Hockey League, and you're playing against Gordie Howe, and you have a good shot at him? Do you take it, or do you just kind of hesitate and hold back a bit?
Well, I think you take it, but you're going to know that you're going to get one back, because Gordie's not going to sit back and let you take a free whack at him. I often wonder just what Gordie Howe thinks himself. This is the first National Hockey League game that he's come out in the Hartford Whaler uniform, green and white, and seeing the red and white uniform that he played in for so many years, it's got to seem strange for him to be playing against the Red Wings.
We talked about Gordie Howe and Mark Howe, who has been a regular performer and a very good one. The third of the Howe family, who is still involved in professional hockey and with the Hartford Whalers, Marty Howe, back along the defense, was sent down by his coach, Don Blackburn, very early in the season. And he didn't take long there to break his wrist, so he has been out of action and remains out. They are just about to remove the cast from that wrist right now, but that's why we haven't seen or heard much of Marty lately. But it would have been kind of fun to watch all 3 of them.
Yes, it would. And Bruce, I think we'd be remiss not mentioning Gordie Roberts. I think Gordie Roberts has probably played as strong a hockey game as anybody on the Hartford team. He has broken up so many plays coming down. He has got Nedomansky and LeBratton and those fellows from going wide on him, and he's a pretty good-looking hockey player for 22 years old and playing his 4th year.
And back in that power play, he whistled a couple of shots, too,
yes,
that could well have been in the net. Well, you hear the horn in the background. That'll bring the 2 teams back out onto the ice here at the Springfield Civic Center. We'll be back with a 3rd period face-off in just a moment.
If there's one thing you can depend on, it's that your favorite glasses will break, one way or another. Which means, one way or another, you wind up with a collection of unfavorite glasses. Now you can replace your glass menagerie, because now you can get beautiful French lead crystal at Bank of the Commonwealth with every deposit of $50 or more in any savings account. So come to the Bank of the Commonwealth today and add a touch of glass.
The feeling, incurably romantic. The look, timeless. And the savings, never in your wildest dreams. It's Hudson's Winter White Sale, featuring trousseau ribbon by Fieldcrest, delicate ribbon trims and elegant island hems. Ah, such is the stuff dreams are made of. Priced to sweep you off your feet, with twin flat sheets just $15.99. Winter White Sale savings, never in your wildest dreams. Until now, at Hudson's.
Now you can enjoy MASH for a full hour. The MASH hour starts tomorrow night at 7 on TV 50.
Goes against my training to say take 2 aspirin and go get yourself killed. What would Hippocrates say? What would Socrates say? And what would you say if I asked you if you wanted to go into the linen closet for several minutes of heavy breathing?
Now more fun and laughs with your favorite doctors and nurses. It's an hour of MASH starting tomorrow at 7 on TV 50.
What's the Peschke difference that makes the great American brand great? Well, for bacon, it's the way Peschke carefully selects only extra lean bacon, the kind that gives you that crispy, sweet smoke flavor. Extra lean, the quality difference you can taste in great American brand bacon from Peschke.
Peschke makes the difference that makes great American great.
Try some of the Peschke Great American brand extra lean bacon.
And we are back with you once more from here at the Civic Center in Springfield, where in that second period, Red Wings had only 6 shots at John Garrett, and Hartford 10 times. They fired the puck at Rogie Vachon. So the overall shots on goal, Detroit 18, Hartford 22 after 2 periods of play. And the game all tied at 1-1. We did not see Sid. I don't know if that shoulder's acting up again or not, but Dennis Polonich played very, very sparingly, if at all, in the second period. And he was dripping along in pretty good shape in the first.
I'm just looking out there right now, Bruce, to see if I can see him even on the bench. And I don't see him.
Who's that?
Dennis Polonich.
Oh, he just skated
off. Oh, yes,
off.
there he is.
Yep. So both teams will remain at full strength. The Red Wings have had 4 penalties and Hartford 3. The Wings scored their only goal on the power play.
We have a big score from out of town. Buffalo 2, Philadelphia 1 in the second period.
Peter Mahovlich with Netamansky and LeBratton, Jim Korn and Willie Huber. But Hartford wins the face-off. This is Al Sims dumping it out center ice for Mark Howe. He laid it right onto the stick of Willie Huber, who takes the long shot wide of the goal. Angsleben played it. Here's Danny LeBratton intercepting. Tried to set up Netamansky. Mahovlich gains control. Back to Korn. Jim Korn working into the circle. Korn out in front of backhand shot. And it deflected wide of the goal. Mark Howe dumped it over on the left side, and coming out, Ray Allison. Here's Allison going into the Detroit zone. He was given a bump there by Korn. It was Mahovlich that fell down. Netamansky knocked it out center ice. Angsleben played it back in. Allison. He handed it off to Rogers. Here's Mark Howe, and Rogie Vachon stopped him as Howe roamed right out in front and whipped the backhander.
And he was their big goal scorer a year or 2 ago, and he was robbed right out in front. He got onto his backhand, though. I think that's his first scoring opportunity. Mark Howe takes a little pass across in front of the goal mouth here now, and he just can't swish it by Rogie. Rogie gets down, blocks the shot.
Face-off will stay to the left side of the Detroit goal. Brent Peterson now. Polonich is out there on the right wing with Paul Woods. Reed Larson and Barry Long back along the Detroit defense. Puck in behind the Detroit goal. It's up along the net. The referee is going to keep the face-off in the Detroit end. It was a Hartford player that shot it there, but the Wings are going to lose the argument. Oh, there's Dennis Polonich.
On that puck lodged in the net, Bruce, I believe that you're supposed to try and make a play to dislodge it to keep the play going, and the Wings didn't do that, so they probably just ruled face-off in the same spot again.
Now here's Barry Long circling in behind Vachon, dumping it into the corner. Reed Larson in after it. On the left wing for Paul Woods. He sent it ahead for Peterson. He was tied up. Now Duvall starts back. Pass tipped away. Paul Woods sent it out center ice. Sims cleared it off a stick. It bounces into the Detroit end. Very long. Going in. Boutet gave him a bump. Now Pat Boutet played it along the boards. It is still deep in the Detroit end, but bringing it out will be Bolduc, who just came on. Here's Danny Bolduc over the line. He's a young man right out of this area. Dennis Polonich goes in. He and Sims in along the boards. That puck is still loose. Now they take it with a skate and hold it to the right side of the Hartford goal.
In fact, Danny Bolduc was signed as a free agent right from this club 2 summers ago. He belonged to the Hartford Whalers.
Well, he played his collegiate hockey right in this area. This has been his home.
They had a big sign up. I don't see it now.
It's halfway off the wall. But it welcomed Danny Bolduc home. Now it's Larry Giroux, and he's being given a shove-in along the boards by Dennis Polonich. Boutet cleared in behind his own goal for Gord Roberts. Coming out now, moving on the right side. The puck slides into the Detroit zone. Going into the corner, Reed Larson dumped his man there. And it's held for a face-off, which will be to the left side of the Detroit goal.
I can't believe that this game wouldn't be a little more physical than it is. The Wings went into Atlanta. Atlanta's one of the biggest teams in the league, and Detroit...
One of the more physical.
Yes, one of the more physical. And Detroit matched them bump for bump, had a couple of fights, won the game going away. Here they are tonight against a club that I would think that they have to start being a little more cautious about running them down and knocking them around a little bit.
Greg Jolly played it into the corner for George Lyle. Now Lyle's pass was knocked away. Sent now to Willie Huber. Huber, he lost it. Mike Foligno moves in after it. Now Foligno coming down the right side. Coming out center ice. Big Mike, number 17, into the zone. Went right through, and then coming out of the goal, Garrett stopped him. That's Lyle, number 18, trying to move in front. And Dale McCord had it tangled up. It comes back to the Detroit line. Well, Foligno was actually given that last check by the goaltender after he'd made the play. Puck is in the Detroit end. McCourt goes in behind his own goal. Gives it now to Greg Jolly. Off to George Lyle. Lyle handing it back to McCourt. Lyle coming down the left side. McCourt over the line, but Lyle went in ahead of him as McCourt stick-handled over the line. So they'll come back out over the Hartford blue line for the face-off.
Well, Foligno made an excellent rush, went right through split the defense, went in. He possibly should have shot the puck instead of trying to pull the goaltender, because Garrett, while he was off balance, Garrett come out and checked him really before he could straighten himself out.
Tell you what, John Garrett is a pretty fair goaltender.
Yes, he has been. If he has played like this all season long, he is a good goaltender, because he has made some big saves here tonight.
Now here's Greg Jolly handing it back to Willie Huber. Ahead to Dale McCourt, tearing over the line. That's Lyle, but he couldn't cut through. Al Sims in behind his own goal. Now Sims pass all the way out center ice. Willie Huber gives it there to Greg Jolly. Oh, and Jolly's return pass almost broken up. Here's Foligno. Mike Foligno. He's charging over the Hartford line. Here's Foligno trying to get loose. Didn't do it. It comes back out Greg Jolly. Jolly has to wait for his forwards to come back on side. Now Jolly's pass. Foligno chopped it in toward the corner. Goes in after it. Played it back to the line, but the pass away from everybody's going all the way back into the Detroit end, and Larson quickly back after it. We have played now 3.5 minutes of the third period. The game is 1-1. Here's Larson. Reed Larson trying to go through. Larson put it right to the goal mouth, but that's knocked away, and Renaud cleared it now to Patillo. Nick Patillo, the former Ranger, into the Detroit end, and that play offside. We'll be back after we pause now for this message. You are watching Red Wing Hockey on TV 50. Here in Springfield, Massachusetts, the game is tied at 1-1. Peter Mohavlich in against Rogers. Whalers win the face-off and clear it off to the side of the Detroit goal. Vachon, a left wing pass for Danny LeBratton. Hanksleben kept it in. That's Jim Korn, number 26 of the Wings, starting out. Big Jim Korn. He's moving down the ice, over the line, trying to work his way through. Korn goes into the corner with Roberts chasing him. They bump there. Nedemansky played it off now to Danny LeBratton. LeBratton put it out in front. There's Larson with it, went off his stick to the side. Larson goes in after it. It's knocked away from him, but LeBratton will play it. Danny LeBratton. LeBratton, a good move, put it right to the side of the goal, and Garrett's just going to reach out and hold on to it. And the play stays still in the Hartford zone.
And Danny LeBratton was looking for big Ned Nedemansky, and Ned was parked off to the right of the net, or left of the net, I should say, all by himself, but the puck couldn't get over to him.
Well, big Nedemansky is a fella, Sid, who'd like to see things get going again. Ned, in the last 5 games, had only 1 point. That was a power play goal. But he did assist on LeBratton's goal midway in the second period here tonight. Now Mahavlich won the face-off. Nedemansky hands it to LeBratton. LeBratton fanned on it the first time, knocked down, and coming out with it, number 8, Ray Allison. Firing it into the corner deep in the Detroit end. Nedemansky goes back after it, being chased by Howe, lost it to Allison. But Allison's pass to an open wing. Howe had moved way over to the other side. Mahavlich scoops it back out center ice. Hanksleben a long shot that Vachon stops for Jolly. Now Greg Jolly on the left side, coming out with it. Dan LeBratton, a long pass on the right wing to Nedemansky. Here's Ned charging over. Took the shot. That was blocked by Hanksleben. Nedemansky put it out in front. LeBratton took a swing at it, got it again, took his shot, and it went high and wide. Peter Mahavlich playing it into the corner. Now that's Gord Roberts. Along the boards on the right side for Allison, trying to work away from Jolly. Did, and here they come 2-on-1. Rogers and Mark Howe. Rogers the pass, and it was tipped away by Huber. Howe was in alone, but the pass tipped away. Now LeBratton dumped in behind the goal by Rogers. They take it into the corner, and they'll have the face-off to the left of the Detroit goal.
A good play coming back to stop that 2-on-1 break. Danny LeBratton, he's been a terrific hockey player for this Red Wing Hockey Club all year long. Beautiful skater, scoring goals. Buffalo are still leading Philadelphia, and I believe they said Atlanta 2, New York Rangers 2.
That's right. They play out in front of the Detroit goal. Paul Woods goes digging after it. Now Woods, a long pass coming up to Dennis Polonich. Polonich shooting it off the boards. Woods digging in after it. Woods letting it come back toward the line. Very long. His pass broken up by Larry Giroux. Now here they come again. DeBoll into the Detroit zone. Sets up Boutet with a shot, and Vachon is going to hold on to that. And the play stays in the Detroit end as Hartford came close.
Pat Boutet, a Windsor boy, takes a little pass here from the middle, through from Dave Duvall, former University of Michigan star, All-American, in fact. And Boutet come in, had his angle on the net, got a good shot away, but Rogie made the save.
Talk like fellows like Mark Howe and Duvall and Gordy Roberts as being from the Detroit area. Mr. Boutet, of course, is from the Detroit area, out of Windsor. Brent Peterson in against Duvall. The Wings pick it up. This is Bolduc. Got Woods with him, but he didn't get beyond the blue line. Brent Peterson ran heavily into Boutet. They hold the puck in along the boards, and the play stopped there. Face-off stays at center ice.
I think you'll find that Brent Peterson and Big John Hillworth will help this hockey club, but they're going to need a lot of work. They reported to the team, and I don't think had been playing that much down in Glen Falls, so it's going to take them a while to really get in shape for the National League.
Peterson wins a face-off. Here is Reed Larson playing it back into the Hartford end. Garrett played it along the boards for Larry Giroux, and Giroux shoots it down the ice. And it is going. Vachon plays it, so there's no icing, and Reed Larson will take it in behind his own goal. Now Larson, taking a lot of time, hands it off to Barry Long, ahead too far for Woods. Now this is Giroux again. Larry Giroux tied up by Long. Long knocked him down, and Peterson hands it back to Larson. Ahead now to Long. Very Long takes the long shot. Garrett no trouble with that. Played it into the corner. Bolduc went in, knocked it back now to Reed Larson. Larson hands it off to Woods. Paul Woods fired the shot. Garrett an easy save on that one. And Boutet has it. We've played about 7 minutes. of the third period. The game is tied at 1-1. Gordy Roberts goes in behind his own goal, swings it out on the right side. Coming out with it now is Brian Hill. Hill being checked by Lyle. Jim Korn. His pass went beyond Lyle and back after it Roberts. He sees a lot of ice time, this young Detroiter. Gord Roberts picks up his own pass off the boards. Off to Keon, but it's knocked away, and here's McCord and Foligno. Now Dale McCord over the line, fired the shot, and coming way out of the goal, Garrett made the save. Boy, he had Foligno open. That long shot, here's McCord, and his shot, wide open, was knocked away by Garrett. And a long pass this time by Boutet, and it'll be a long off. No, it wasn't. He kept it onside. And Korn goes in and dumped his man along the boards. That was Stoughton. Here now is Jim Korn coming out. Jim Korn back over the line. Korn drops it off for Foligno, being tied up there by Douglas. That shot by Willie Huber knocked away by Garrett. Korn put it off to the side of the net. In behind the goal, Foligno. Mike Foligno, a centering pass. McCord again. He was stopped right there. There will be a penalty coming up to Hartford. But oh, what chances Dale McCord has had. We'll be back with the Detroit power play in a moment.
Just time and time again, big Jim Korn played the puck around behind the net, come around. Dale McCord has missed 4 excellent scoring opportunities tonight from in the slot, 10, 12 feet out in front. Foligno did all the spade work here behind the net, pushed it back out, and Dale McCord gets a hold of it, put it through the falling defenseman. Look at the puck right there, all by itself with the empty net, but nobody can reach it. And it was Foligno that was trying to stretch beyond the goaltender and was pulled down, causing Roberts to get the penalty.
Gordy Roberts off for holding at 8 minutes and 3 seconds of this, the third period. There's a gouge in the ice out in front of the Hartford goal. That is the reason that they're holding things up a little bit. Penalties all even now at 4 aside, though the Red Wings have scored the only power play goal. McCourt stays out with Lyle and Foligno, Huber and Korn. Puck stopped by Willie Huber. At the blue line, Mike Foligno. Foligno took that short pass, handed it back to Huber. Now that's Jim Korn. Korn handing into the corner. It's George Lyle battling to keep it in play. Here's McCourt digging it out. Dale McCourt back now to Lyle. George Lyle being checked by Mark Howe. Play went in behind the Hartford goal and slashing it along the boards up into the crowd. So is Hartford's Alan Hangsleben, and the play will stay in the circle to the left side of the Hartford goal with 1:34 remaining in the penalty to Hartford's Gord Roberts.
I don't know how George Lyle played when he was down in Glen Falls, but let me tell you, in the 4 games, this is his 4th game with the Red Wings, he has been one of the standouts each and every time. He has scored 3 goals. He's played a strong game again tonight.
Reed Larson comes out on the right point now. Korn on the left side. That's Foligno. Mike Foligno. And he tried to work it off the side of the net, but it was tipped away and fired back into the Detroit end. Game still at 1-1 as Korn starts out. Jim Korn over on the left side to Dale McCord. It's offside. And they'll bring it back out over the Hartford line with 1:14 left in the Detroit power play. And Peter Mahovlich, Nedomansky, and LeBratton come out now.
The Wings need a goal right now. This is the type of a hockey game where somebody gets lucky and scores 1. They're liable to win it.
Well, the Hartford power play, I said, had scored only 13 goals all season long. They have given up 31. Red Wings have scored 33 times on the power play, given up 29. Whalers win the face-off, and it's fired down the ice by Al Sims. Back after it, Reed Larson. Now Larson starts out. Detroit with the extra man ahead to Nedomansky. Now to Peter Mahovlich into the Hartford zone. Into the corner, Danny LeBratton. His pass tipped away behind the goal by Hangsleben. Davey Keon shoots it down the ice. Vachon gives it now to Willie Huber. Here's Peter Mahovlich. Now Mahovlich coming out center ice. Back into the Hartford zone. He just left it right there. And it's cleared by Keon all the way back into the Detroit end, and the Wings have showed very little on their power play. 25 seconds remaining. Here's LeBratton. He's charging down the boards on the left side. Danny LeBratton trying to go through. Hank Levin slowed him up. Reed Larson goes in with Keon. LeBratton was dealt to the boards. Now that's Larson deep in the corner. Larson moving out in front. He took his shot. Here's Larson with another chance. They score! I'm not sure it was Nedemansky or LeBratton.
I don't know.
They both swung at it.
They both shot at the same time. I don't know who's going to get credit for this goal. They both get, maybe we'll get two on it.
Take another look at it. It was Larson's shot, really, from the forehand.
Right, now watch, that's Larson digging in the corner. He stick handles around the player, moves it back out in front. He took a shot here, and Garrett made the save. Danny LeBratton tried to put it in from the corner and missed. And now it comes out. There's Larson, and there's Nedemansky. They both shot. They both, it appears, touched the puck. They give it to Nedemansky. But a big goal to score.
Larson and LeBratton draw the assist on the goal awarded Nedemansky. So Big Ned gets the power play goal, and the Red Wings go out in front 2-1. Here now, Gordie Howe. He's checked right by the Detroit line by Jim Korn. So Nedemansky gets number 24 on the season. Both Red Wing goals on the power play. Coming out here again is Korn. He's got Polonich open on the right side, but he didn't throw the pass. And Polonich went in offside.
And big Jim Korn realized that he should have thrown the puck over. All he had to do was dump it into the zone ahead of Polonich, and Dennis would have been in the clear. Dennis went over and talked to him now. It's just a rookie mistake by Korn. He's such a good puck carrier, and he just didn't realize that all he had to do was float it over into the open part of the ice.
Now the Whalers bring it back out center ice. It's cleared the length of the ice. But Vachon's going to play it. It gets kept in at the line by Larry Giroux, and that puck tipped just wide. Polonich goes into the corner after it. Takes it in along the boards. It came out to Paul Woods. Woods dumped it ahead. Here's Bolduc, Danny Bolduc. With Giroux in front of him, Bolduc trying to charge in. And Garrett came out, knocked it away from him. Carroll, he played it off McCord. It comes back now. Renaud back into the Detroit end with Howe moving out in front. That pass to Carroll. Carroll stopped and went wide. Hit the side of the net. Then McCourt was knocked away from the puck. It goes in behind the Detroit goal. Barry Long tipped it to the corner, and Jim Korn will take it there. 8:45 to play in the third period. It is 2-1 Detroit. Now Korn's pass knocked away by Giroux. Larry Giroux clearing it back into the Detroit end, right to Vachon. So Larson trying to work away from Keon. He does. Here now Larson coming out center ice. Lyle on the left side. Larson took the long shot. Garrett handles that. Lyle put it right out in front and went behind McCourt. Coming back now, this is Keon down the left side. He overskated it. Now George Lyle takes the pass. Foligno coming up the right side. Lyle dumps it into the corner. Mike Foligno is tied up by Stoughton. And the puck bounces back to the Detroit blue line. Back after it, Willie Huber. Off now to Greg Jolly. They played it into the Hartford zone. Back out center ice. McCourt hands it to Willie Huber. Huber along the boards ahead now to Foligno. Mike Foligno's pass too far out in front of Lyle. They'll call an icing. Back after it is Sims. And we'll be back with more of the action after we pause for this. When will the public get its fill of sex and violence? You'll find out later. Premieres tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here on TV 50. Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, our director-producer Marvin Muse from here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Red Wings have a 2-1 lead over Hartford. That's a shot by Roberts, and that's deflected over the top of the Detroit goal. Ended up in the crowd. Off a Hartford stick, they say, so the face-off comes out over the Detroit blue line. Now we have 7 minutes and 46 seconds to play in this, the third period. Now they are changing the ruling and bringing it back into the Detroit end. I thought it went off a Red Wing stick.
Very important face-offs at this part of a hockey game. 7 minutes and 46 seconds to go. Rogie Vachon getting all set for the face-off just at the top of the circle.
Brent Peterson goes in against Mike Rogers. Puck came back to Roberts. He lost it to Nedemansky. He's got LeBratton with him. Two of them over the line. Here's Nedemansky pulling up, handing it back now to Greg Jolly with a shot, and Garrett knocks that away. In behind his own goal, Rogers. Rogers up on the left wing to Mark Howe. Now it comes back to Rogers. He's a speedster. Moves into the Detroit end. Here now, Mike Rogers going into the corner, dumping it to the other side. Allison goes in after that. Puck was knocked away. Peter Mahavlich in behind the goal with Allison. It came out in front, but covering up Danny LeBratton. LeBratton played it out over the line, and it came back in offside. We'll be back with more in this 2-1 game after we pause for this. That's the rookie linesman, Paul Flaherty, you look at. The referee has halted play for some reason. He skated down inside the Detroit zone. Talking now with Rogie Vachon. There's a piece of glass that is out of place, is what it's all about, down in the corner. So there'll be a further delay while they'll call the crew here to bring it in. Sid, I was proud of you. You have to be something like a trapeze artist to get into our telecast area here, up and down ladders and around catwalks.
I'm not too good at climbing walls and ladders now, you know.
I thought that last little backflip you did getting into the core was just disgraceful.
I'm more concerned now how we get out of it.
Could be a rope ladder down the front. This, as we said, is the last game that they plan to play here, the Hartford Whalers, at the Springfield Civic Center. They go on the road and then come back in a week or so away, and we'll open up the Hartford building, which seats just about twice as many of the 7,600 that they have here.
And we should mention the fact that we're in Springfield. One of the all-time greats of hockey spent most of his life here as a coach and a manager, Eddie Shore. I'm sure all our old-time hockey fans will recall Eddie Shore. And while this isn't the building that he managed and played in, it's awful close to the area. There's Big Peter talking to the linesman there.
Well, they have accomplished the repairs in the glass in the corner down there, and we'll get things going again. We have 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the third period. Detroit leads on 2 power play goals by Danny LeBratton and Vaslav Nedemensky. 2-1. Gordie Howe with Rogers at center and Mark Howe on the left side. This is the first time we've seen the two Howes on together. Oh, I guess they were on for a power play earlier in the game. Puck comes out to Rogers, now to Gordie Howe, back to Rogers. Back into the Detroit zone, here's Mark Howe. He took the shot, and Vachon got a piece of that with a glove. Gordie Howe knocks it down in the corner. Korn moved in to cover up on him, and Danny LeBratton sweeps it back into the Hartford end. Renaud goes back after it, didn't get it out. Here's Mahavlich with a shot. He just grazed the goalpost. Now that's Nedemensky. His centering pass bounces back to the blue line, held in by Jim Korn. No, it wasn't. Bozak, the linesman, said offside.
And, Bruce, while you were announcing the actual game, the action was all back in the Detroit zone. Jim Korn and Gordie Howe were tied up. And let me tell you, there were elbows flying both ways. And when the puck was coming out and called for the offside, Korn tried to hold it in, and Gordie made a run for about 30 feet, and through the elbows he went by him. But Jim Korn probably doesn't know who Gordie Howe is or doesn't care who Gordie Howe is. He was throwing elbows just as often as Gordie threw his.
Now they bounce it back into the Hartford zone, but they whistle down the face-off. Well, Jim Korn played his hockey in this area, Sid, Providence College, I believe.
Yes, but I mean, he's never played against Gordie Howe. Let's talk about the rookies of all rookies against the oldest player in the league.
Right. Bolduc sent it back into the Hartford end. I was just thinking, though, that Korn, though he was raised in the Minnesota area and born there, he played his collegiate hockey in this area, in the east. They go in along the boards. Boutette's centering pass knocked away by Willie Huber. Out on the right side for Dennis Polonich. His pass didn't get by, but here is Paul Woods picking it up. Now Bolduc just sent it to the line. Gord Roberts has it there. We have 6 minutes to go in the hockey game, 2-1 Detroit. Willie Huber to Polonich. He tipped it off to the side of the Hartford net. Larry Giroux back after it. Now Giroux, a long pass on the left wing. DeBoll giving chase to it, so's Willie Huber. Huber and DeBoll tie each other up along the boards, and they hold it for a face-off, which will be deep in the Detroit end. We'll be back with that after we pause for this.
See all the new 1980s at your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep dealer.
Bobby Crom in the Detroit bench. I was going to say behind it. Actually, right now he's in front of it. That's Reed Larson. His pass knocked away. Davy Keon with it. Right to the goal mouth. And Vachon has grabbed that one as the Wings very careless in their own end. And Keon almost took advantage of it.
Well, here's a case where the puck comes back into the corner. Reed Larson is fighting for it. Goes over to Keon. Keon tries to make a play across. The puck hits Dale McCourt and comes right back to Keon in front. He just took a poke at it, and luckily Rogie was right there on the corner to make the save.
5 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the hockey game. 2-1 Detroit.
While watching the Wings skate at noon, I noticed the puck bounced an awful lot, and the players are finding that trouble right now.
Keon in against Dale McCourt, deep in the Detroit end. McCourt wins the draw. Larson cleared it along the boards, and it hit a funny board there, and Keon holds it in, and it's knocked away, and here's McCourt coming out. Dale McCourt moving into the Hartford zone. McCourt wound up for that shot. He drilled it wide, and it's taken off the boards by Blaine Stoughton. Now Stoughton a long pass, and Lyle came back to break that up. Reed Larson starting out again. He's got McCourt on the go. Here's McCourt over the line. He tried to center it. That deflected off Roberts into the corner. Giroux goes in after it. And Giroux lifts it in the air, rolls it back into the Detroit end, and back after it Larson. Larson dumping it out on the right wing for McCourt. Now Dale McCourt. Lyle coming up the left side. Back over the line, a drop pass for Foligno. A good move away from Renaud. Moving into the backhander. And the save made by Garrett. And Garrett and Lyle were all tied up. They still have the play in the Hartford zone, but now it's dumped out center ice. Here's Stoughton with it. Keon coming up. Stoughton shot blocked by Barry Long. Long tips it not out. It's taken now by Willie Huber. Now Huber to McCourt. Dale McCourt, the Wings changing on the move. He lost it. It slides into the circle with Sims in after it. Al Sims, a long pass over 2 lines, is offside. Well, don't forget that official Red Wings stocking cap can be yours if you're one of the first 5,000 youngsters to come to the Red Wings Atlanta Flames game on Saturday, January 26th at 2 o'clock. The cap's sponsored by Coca-Cola, and one of them can be yours. So don't miss the opportunity to Joe Louis Arena, January 26th. 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining to be played in the hockey game. Detroit 2, Hartford 1. Now Sims carries in behind John Garrett. His pass knocked away by Danny LeBratton. Renaud goes in after it. Cleared it over on the left side for Mark Howe. Here's a chance for Huber with a shot. A save made, and the puck bounced right by Danny LeBratton. Now Gordie Howe starts back. Cleared it into the Detroit end. Mark Howe going into the corner with Willie Huber. Puck came right out in front. A centering pass by Howe, but the Wings break it up. Nedemansky. Big Ned circling back out at center ice. Drops it back now for Korn. Ahead to Danny LeBratton. He had trouble with it. Korn follows up. And Korn slips it into the Hartford end. In behind his own goal now. Hartford clears it out to center ice. Paul Woods will take it there. He fired it off the glass right back in. 3.5 minutes to play here in the third period. 2-1 Detroit. Puck got away from Mark Howe. Covering up was Korn, and then Paul Woods hands it back to Long. Very Long. Off to Danny Bolduc. Now Bolduc shooting it into the Hartford end. Paul Woods digging in after it, but Garrett came out to clear it to Gordie Howe. Howe's pass tipped back into the Detroit end. Larson going back after it. Now Larson winding up along the boards on the left side. Digging into the Hartford end, trying to work around his man. Pulls up in the corner, looking. Fired it right through the goal crease, but the Wings were changing on the move, and Dale McCourt, just coming off the bench, gives it back now to Barry Long, and the Wings again shoot it in. Garrett in behind his own goal. Now it's played over on the right side. Hangslever got it out to center ice, and the Wings, Barry Long, shot it up into the crowd. We'll be back in just a moment. Face off in the center ice zone now as Greg Carroll goes in against Dale McCourt. Barry Long hands it to Reed Larson. Ahead now to George Lyle. Here's Lyle trying to go by. He tried to work it out in front to McCourt. Couldn't do it. Coming right back now, that's Pat Boutet. He slides it off to the side of the Detroit goal. Vachon in the corner to Lyle. Lyle's pass didn't come out. They take it in along the boards. It's loose to Boutet. In behind the goal, Fatillo. Tried to center it. It's right in the goal mouth. And they're down on top of it, and the play will stay in the Detroit end.
And that's one area where you don't want the play now with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go. A very important face-off in Detroit zone.
Can you believe that? Philadelphia's come back to take a 3-2 lead over Buffalo with 8 or 9 minutes to play. And Buffalo.
They're making believers of me.
I guess so.
They just don't die to any team.
They've come from behind so many times. Now McCourt won the faceoff, and Barry Long sends it out to center ice. Played back to the Detroit blue line. They called it offside, and they'll take it back over the center ice line. And we have 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Third period, 2-1 Detroit. Power play goals by LeBratton and Nedemansky. Patillo scored for Hartford, and that's where we stand. Red Wings and the New York Rangers Wednesday night at Joe Louis Sports Arena on the riverfront in Detroit. Then Saturday night, Gordie Howe and these Hartford Whalers will be there. And then Sunday night we'll be in Chicago. That'll be our next telecast at 8:30.
And what a crowd. What a crowd we'll have Saturday night against Hartford because of Gordie Howe coming in.
Right. 2 games, both of them, New York and Hartford, of course, from Joe Louis Arena will be on WJR radio. The Wings just did something they didn't want to do. They iced that puck. And that'll bring the face-off deep into the Detroit end again with 1:58 to go. Blaine Stoughton with Davy Keon, Jordy Douglas.
This is their big scoring line, Stoughton, Keon, and Douglas.
Stoughton is a big goal scorer. He's got 22 of them.
Right. Mark Howe and Gordie Roberts back. They play Mark Howe both up front and back on defense.
That's Mark Howe, number 5. His pass over on the left side, skipped away from Roberts. And the Whalers have to come back on side. Now Howe just shot it back in. Going after it, Reed Larson. It's tipped high along the glass. Dale McCourt with it. Didn't get it out. Roberts cleared it on the opposite side. George Lyle goes after it, and he golfs it out to center ice. Turning with it now, Jordy Douglas, number 11. Here's Douglas moving back into the Detroit zone. Larson tipped it into the corner. Keon in after it. Now Stoughton failed to hold it in, but Mark Howe did, but handed it right to Barry Long. Long's pass, center ice, comes now to Mark Foligno. Mike Foligno. They've played it off the skate of Lyle back into the Hartford zone. The goaltender was acting as if it would be icing, but it is not. 1 minute and 5 to go. Now Garrett has come over to the Hartford bench, and the Red Wings will have an open net at the opposite end, but Hartford has an extra man. Puck went off a Hartford man. There is no icing. Patillo right out in front of his own goal. The extra attacker for Hartford. Patillo went to the line. Paul Woods knocked it away from him. Back out at center ice, Mark Howe. Now Howe wound up, and that puck went off Willie Huber high up into the crowd. And the play will stay over the Detroit blue line with 41 seconds to go in the game. And Detroit leading it 2-1.
And when Patillo come down through center ice with everyone chasing after him, Davy Keon had to be 6 feet offside, but a melee of players just inside the blue line, and the linesman didn't notice him. There wasn't a whistle on it. It could have been a very dangerous play.
Timeout, Hartford.
Well, there's a look at the Hartford goal, and now the Whalers have taken a timeout with 41 seconds remaining, and the Red Wings leading it 2-1.
I might mention the fact that Ned Nedemansky scored the goal to put the Wings ahead 2-1 on a power play, his 24th, I believe it is, of the season. Ned has never gone more than 3 games this season without scoring a goal, so that's one of the reasons why he is 24. Anytime you can keep scoring every 2 or 3 games, you know you're going to have a real good season. It's when you go into the drought and go 10, 12, 15 games without picking up a goal, it makes things a little frustrating, and first thing you know, you start pressing, and even though you get opportunities, you don't score.
John Garrett has come out. He's going to play right along the blue line, and if Hartford gains control, then he'll head back to the bench for the extra attacker.
I'm watching.
The Wings.
Bruce, excuse me for interrupting. I was going to see if they use Gordie Howe as the 6th attacker. I don't believe they will.
So it's Paul Woods who's going to take the face-off against Keon, and Woods wrapped it back toward the Hartford blue line. Now that puck is loose, and the goaltender's gone back into the bench. Empty net on the Hartford end. This is Mark Howe, number 5. A long pass, and Thorne moved in too quickly, but so did Stoughton. And Stoughton slaps that puck all the way down the ice. He could pick up a penalty for delay of game right there, but It's not to be called. 26 seconds remain. And the face-off again comes out center ice, and the referee, Morrell, gives a warning to the Hartford forward. Garrett comes back on.
Bobby Crom has switched his defense back to Long and Larson. Jim Korn has played a strong hockey game, but he is a rookie, and it's pretty rough having him out there when you're trying to protect a one-goal lead with just a few seconds to go.
George Lyle hands it off now. Here's Paul Woods. Woods put it right out in front of the net. We have 15 seconds to go. Now Garrett has moved all the way again to the Detroit bench, rather to the Hartford bench. Buck went off Keon. It came back, and the play is way offside. That time, Keon had to be 10 feet inside. And they come back out over the Detroit blue line with 7 seconds to go.
And this is a big hockey game for the Red Wings after losing 3 out of 4 in their new arena, the Joe Louis Arena. They've come on the road. They won the big game in Atlanta. And then move in here, and with just 7 seconds to go, all Paul Woods has to do, if it's going to be Paul Woods, it looks like it's going to be Dale McCourt come out to take the face-off. Dennis Polonich is going to come off. They're going to leave Woods on, playing the right side just for this 7-second shift.
Dale McCourt with Woods, Lyle, Long, and Larson. McCourt in against Keon. That's Lyle battling along the boards. That puck is bouncing loose, and they hold it. The face-off now will be just inside the Detroit line, and we have 1 second to go.
And I can tell you right now, Bruce, the Red Wings have won another road game.
Well, that'll be their 6th, and 2 in a row, a 2-game road swing.
And as far as I'm concerned, the star of the game has been the fellow playing on the nets for Hartford, because he made so many big saves.
Well, the puck is dropped. The Red Wings win the draw, and they also win the hockey game 2-1 behind 2 power play goals and the goaltending of Rogie Vachon. Here's the third period scoring summary brought to you by Magnavox and Fretter Appliance Stores. With the game tied at 1-1 and into the third period, the only penalty served was that by Gordy Roberts. He went off for holding at 8:03, and while he was off, Nedemansky and Reed Larson together fired that puck at the Hartford goal. Nedemansky, I guess, had more wood on it, and drew the goal, his 24th of the year. Larson and LeBratton the assists at 9:54. So that's it. In the period, the Red Wings had 14 shots for a total of 32, and Hartford had 7 for a total of 29. That's it. The end of the game, the final score, Detroit 2, Hartford 1. We'll return in just a moment.
What's the big news about our 1980 GC Day?
Sid, we mentioned that the Hartford Whalers have had a terrible record on power plays. They have given up a lot. They have scored very few. Each team had 4 penalties in this hockey game. The Wings scored 2 power play goals, and Hartford didn't score any, and that was the difference.
Well, I really believe, Bruce, Detroit deserved to win the hockey game. They should have scored enough goals in the first period to win any hockey game. But John Garrett was the stumbling block. Finally, they scored the 2 power play goals, and this was a big win for them. Now they can go back home and hope they can win one on Joe Louis Arena and open up a little daylight on some of these clubs that are behind them.
But it'll not be too easy. They faced the Rangers, have been coming on pretty well, too. The overall shots and goal in the third period, Detroit had 14 and Hartford had 7. That gave the Red Wings 32 and Hartford 29, the game total. So the Red Wings, as you say, return home to face the New York Rangers on Wednesday night. Our broadcast time, 7:25 on radio WJR. So the final score here and the final game to be played at the Springfield Civic Center was the Detroit Red Wings 2 and the Hartford Whalers 1. We invite you to join us 1 week from tonight, next Sunday, at 8:30, when the Detroit Red Wings will meet the Blackhawks at Chicago. Till then, this is Bruce Martin, along with Sid Abel, saying goodbye from Springfield.
Detroit Red Wing Hockey is brought to you by AMC, your Metro Detroit AMC dealer, featuring the American Eagle. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Peschke and the all-new Peschke Great American Premium line of products. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it. And by Bank of the Commonwealth, trying hardest to help.